Gone again.
Oh, right. Anyway, we are here. Poor Linda's having technical difficulties. She'll be back, I'm sure. Right. So, good evening, gents.
Good evening.
Hello.
Right. Who wants to start this one?
Well, you're the one with all the videos, so ramp them
Go
up.
ahead, put it up there. We'll say yes, no.
Right.
We'll pull them
Okay.
Maybe a short
Here we go
show, 15 minutes.
Right. Let's look for the first one. Yeah, do you know what? I mentioned these certain people, and Ian said he has seen it. I don't know if Joe's seen it, but I'm going to share it anyway. And I've even marked exactly where. It's a hi, good evening, whoever that is that's watching. I think that's Tina. So right, just waiting for it to load. Oh, here we go. Right.
No.
Hey,
Cat's interesting.
Yeah, right.
Well.
Right, this is the first one.
Welcome back.
I keep seeing something disturbing. That's all I can say. Some sort of like creature.
my audio is very, very quiet.
And film. Probably got it. There you go. I'll leave it filming there.
You sound clear from here.
I don't know if the cat's under at the
Right,
moment.
if you watch underneath, I think on this one I marked it with the edit in. He put the Wolfie thing for the name of his cat there.
Wolfie, leave it.
But if you watch just underneath the bottom of the bed.
Yeah.
Drink me coffee. I'm determined to drink my coffee this time because last week it was like 2 hours old by the time I drank it.
That's why I have a half-liter cup.
Jesus, what the fuck is that?
Oh, I probably could drink half a litre of that. But you can clearly say, I don't know if I can rewind it, so I'm not used to using this thing. But there, I put the first edit cut. If you look right underneath the bottom of the bed, you've got the rectangle with the light shining underneath. You can see just slightly to the right of it where he's laid it and he's phasing it through. That is exactly the same principle that I used to do. As I was saying to you off camera, my TARDIS, I was practicing the editing and I'd done it exactly the same method to make it look like because when it goes off, it makes a TARDIS noise. And I'd done it so it made it look like it was disappearing on the table. So, sadly, like I said, they've got over 900,000 followers on TikTok and over 24,000 on YouTube. And a vast amount of the people actually believe that shit. Oh, sorry, I forgot we're meant to make this child friendly, aren't we? But that's the thoughts. But the one I wanted. Sorry, Linda?
Not child friendly because I just lit a cigarette.
That's fine.
Yeah. I can't find me vapes, that's why I've got mine. But yeah, that's the shit that Smug Puppy put out. You know, it's bad. It's like there was one I think it's the daughter's boyfriend or something standing in the middle of the room, and apparently the room was attacked by a demon and he was being thrown around. Oh, we've lost Linda again. Yeah, it was absolutely fucking diabolical. It really was. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. This one I can't do. We can't do this one child friendly like we did the other ones. Linda's dropped again. Right, now this was on the last investigation I did. I think it was either the last one or the one before last. The video, I slowed this video down by 96%. Hold up. We have got someone watching. I've got two people watching. Come say hello. Don't be shy. Right, now this video was in a church called Santon. I think it's called Mount Santon in East Anglia. There's a reverend or a vicar or whatever they were called. I can't remember how many years ago it was now, but he was implicated in 9 murders of prostitutes because, as far as he was concerned, women that sold themselves were spawn of the devil, and he killed them in the church.
And
Women
he's not
investigators go
spawned the
there.
devil,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Female investigators go there that he has a tendency to fondle their breasts and play with the genitals, and he really doesn't like male visitors. Now, this video, I happen to be flicking. We've been doing a call-out session with my former teammate. We've done a call-out session, and I went through the video to see if we got anything. And right at the very beginning of this 4-second video clip, I said I've slowed it 96%. You look at the speed that this moves. And I said, this has been slowed by 96%. If it'll load. Here we go. It's just coming up now. I think because you've got the 4 screens, it's StreamYard down a little bit. Right at the very beginning of this clip. Now, has that gone too far forward? Yeah, hold on. Sorry, it's gone too far forward because he took so right at the beginning. Come on. Right, here we go. Right in the lens of the camera. Is that working? That's up. I don't think StreamYard likes 4 lives and videos.
No.
No, because it's definitely not me this time because I'm on my phone now because the computer's died.
Yeah. Come on. The bloody bar keeps coming up when if there's all tell you, we always have at least one problem. It's usually me.
Well, that's been since I've known you.
It's not the speed.
Just out of curiosity, I know it's
Of
probably
StreamYard.
lens flare because you've got it is, but it looks, if you really wanted to say that there's eyes, glowing eyes. I know it's lens
Yeah, no,
flare.
it's not that. From the yeah, that is 100% lens flare. Yeah, but
Yeah.
right at the very beginning, I want to see if I can get it. Oh, there we go. Bloody thing didn't go in time. Watch. There you go. That flash straight across. Something moved from left to right of the camera lens. And the speed that went, and like I said, that's been slowed 96%. So, unless it was a bat with something from NASA wedged up its arse, I have no idea to this day what that was. And on the same investigation, the Reverend or whatever, if Eddie Mallet, if you're watching, Eddie, can you remind me what the name of that? Because Eddie Mallet, who we're hoping to get on soon, he was there with us when we've done this. But I can't remember the Reverend's name, unfortunately. But this slow-mo video, it's going to take a minute. But I actually got physically pushed. I physically got shoved on this investigation. It's the same one. Right, just let that come up. I need me vape. I prefer me vape. Oh, here we go. Wow, StreamYard does really not like 4 lives and a video.
No.
If you watch the way I go.
I was going to say, we got 3 people watching.
Yeah, hi guys, come say hello. Don't be shy. I've got a funny feeling one of them's my lovely Martina, my dear friend. Hopefully he's Eddie as well. Watch how I get pushed.
What was that growl?
That might be the dog snoring.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I heard it too. That's definitely near the dog snoring.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It sounded
If
more like
it
my
is the dog
ex-wife.
snoring,
There we go. There you go.
if it is the dog snoring, it's the dog ate the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
Sounded just like
you
my
can tell by
ex-wife.
your
can-
reaction.
you-
You can tell
You
by
can
the way
see here,
you
you can
move.
physically see why my butt goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've physically gone. I literally judder forward.
I'm just trying to find something I had pulled up
He did
so I don't
not
have to
like
hold it.
me at all. There we go.
It's the way your stomach moves, is it?
No, you're right, Linda.
There we go.
Yeah, you can see my body physically get pushed forward.
Yeah.
That was the last investigation I'd done, and it was fantastic. And like I said, hopefully soon Eddie will be. I said that he'll jump on with one of the lives with us, and he was there, and he'll be able to tell you more about the history of that place. Fantastic location, really good location. Regularly smell alcohol there, and the only thing is, if you mention it, it's only certain times of year it can be used because bats breed there. So a lot of the year it's actually closed, unfortunately. So, have any of you guys got any? Did you get any, Joe? You've been sharing a few in Messenger.
You said you had a whole bunch of them, so I didn't bother going out and getting many.
No,
I've got a bunch of them on my drive. Nothing of mine here on this little computer. They're all on the big computer in storage in Arizona.
Right. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to show this one. Now, this one, it's from, I have credited them. I've put their link in there somewhere. No, I'm not going to say what happens now. I'm just going to show it, I think. If this is real, it's a kind of heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time, this one.
You got to take the glasses off so I can see old lady eyes.
I've got mine on.
A woman who calls herself Sissy says that her husband passed away 8 months ago under very sudden and unexpected circumstances. One day, as Sissy and her son Clarence were walking out of their front door, their Ring camera records something very strange.
I have put their link in there for anyone that watches this to go and subscribe.
Can I go, Grandma's? Come on. Let's go.
I want you.
She's got kind of so sad. Yeah.
Dada! I'm just hugging me. Daddy hugging me.
Oh, wait.
What?
No, okay. Oop, come on, Clarence. I think my mom's got one. Okay.
What, Daddy?
So straight away, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now the News Top 5 have enhanced the video, the audio on the video. So I'll play that here.
That's what I was just about to ask. What did you say, bud? Can you say bye to?
Bye. I said bye, Daddy.
Oh, okay.
Now, Sissy posted the video because she thought it was just a little odd and kinda cute that her son was talking to his dad who passed away. She made no claims that the clip was paranormal, but when she posted the video online, viewers began to point out that there also seemed to be a strange voice in the clip. A voice that they thought might actually be the little...
Sorry, I'm being cattailed.
Before we continue, that's the one thing. I won't be doggy here, so that's the one thing I like about this clip. The woman has never said this is a paranormal video clip.
Right.
When weird things happen and there's something in there and somebody has said it's not a paranormal clip, that's when I'll get a little bit more interested in the video clip. So here we go.
Little boy's father communicating from beyond. Now I'll enhance the audio and listen carefully just as little Clarence walks out of the door.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Dada! I'm just hugging me.
A quiet voice seems to whisper, "Honey," and the boy seems to look around as if searching for who said it. Even stranger, he seems to think that it's the voice of his deceased father, and actually walks over as if his dad is standing nearby on the porch. The little boy says, "Daddy hugging me." And again, a strange, quiet voice seems to whisper back.
Dada! Upstairs! Hurry me!
A jacket for her?
Daddy hugging me! What?
Oh, wait. No, okay. Oop, come on, Clarence. I need my...
Go on.
Daddy hugging me! What?
Oh, wait. No, okay. Oop, come on, Clarence. I need my...
So did little Clarence actually encounter the spirit of his deceased dad, saying
I heard the
hello?
honey, I didn't hear the I am.
No,
I
me
didn't
either.
either. There's just too much stuff going on.
But
Yeah,
definitely
there's a lot
heard
going
the
on in the
honey.
video, and unfortunately, I know it was like your side. It was going a little bit slow, my side. But what do you think on that one?
I like it. The honey comes through quite well.
Yeah.
The way the kid
Um,
reacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah, you can coach kids, but you can see the way he reacts, like you said, Joe. It's natural.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at that age, it'd be difficult to get them to do a practice thing without looking back at mom and going, "What is it next?" You know, so
Yeah.
And
I like that one.
Even if
you see when he
even
goes
not-
onto the couch,
Yeah.
like I said, he's hugging me. It's almost
It's like a dad's
you
going
can
like
see
that to him.
Yeah, and you can see him
Yeah.
physically
And I
hunch
must,
as if he
it was
has
that,
been
you know,
hugged.
ironically, it was my CJ that found that video clip. He was flipping through YouTube and he came across it and found it and shared it with me. And he's wanted my opinion. And when I actually heard it, my spider senses tingled. I actually think that is a genuine video.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do too.
So
CJ is too
unfortunately,
cool for that kind of stuff. Tell CJ thumbs
unfortunately,
up.
the computer's a bit too slow. But that I am, to me, sounds like exactly the same male voice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I'm agreeing with you, but I didn't even actually hear the I am. Sorry about
I
that.
didn't either. I just saw it flash on the
No.
screen.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the I am. The honey, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole reaction of the kid. And as he said, you can see him turning around to look. And
Yeah.
said it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And as Linda
Because
said,
he doesn't,
I coach the kids, you know?
because he doesn't jump, that also makes it feel more genuine to me. So it's like he knows that voice.
Yeah.
So and it's like, I can hear
And
you.
as
Where
Linda
are you?
said- Linda said it would take a lot to coach a kid that young to remember to do that without them going, well, what am I meant to say? Or even if they didn't actually say that to the mum, they'd be like that and stand there as just the mum wanting to get a cue off the mum as what to do next. And that to me just feels so natural.
Mm-hmm.
So natural. So what we thinking, real or fake?
Real, I think, on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. Real all round there. There we go. We got 100% on that one so far. I told you I found a couple of good ones.
They're going to the next thing.
Yes.
All right.
Let's find some dust. Orbs. My favourite topic.
This one's an interesting one. This one I found is kind of interesting, actually. Now, I'm not a big fan of Ouija boards and that. I don't tend to use them.
I like to decorate.
I have
with
done,
them.
but I'm not a big fan of them. And this woman is doing a solo in an allegedly haunted location. The end of the video, I'm a bit...
Ouija board to contact a spirit named Brenda that she believes inhabits the home. But as she conducts her Ouija board session, she begins to suspect that she might be in contact with something much more sinister.
Am I dealing or am I speaking with the devil right now through this Ouija board? It is not Brenda. You've just said it's Brenda. It's not Brenda, is it? Oh my God. I'm trying to take deep breaths. Who am I communicating? I'm losing my. Who am I communicating with through this board? My nose is bleeding right now. Oh my god. The demon it's trying to say. I know I've got no tissue, but my nose is bleeding right now. The body's moving. Oh my god, right, that's it. I'm done. I'm off. I'm sorry, guys.
She hears a strange sound from the floor above her, and her...
I'm sorry about the glitch there. But yeah, her nose, out of nowhere, suddenly starts bleeding.
Right.
Okay, you can get capsules that they use for films and dramas and things.
True, but did she go up and break
But
it?
it seems a little bit excessive to do.
Yeah. I mean, you have to break it. So she didn't go like that or anything.
Yeah.
Also, was she there alone?
Go to her nose.
Was she there alone? Or was she
Thoughts on
just
that
using the Ouija board alone?
I
Yes.
get the impression she was.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Because there was camera work. It zoomed in on her and then zoomed back out. So that's why I'm thinking there's somebody there with her.
The zooming in is the zooming in was actually done by the people that put the video on their YouTube channel.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Right. I don't know with that one.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. My first impressions were, it's a joke. It's a set. And I'm still leaning that way, but
I have seen a couple of people get spontaneous bloody noses like that on investigations.
I generally,
I've been doing this for a long time, and I've run across people that do it.
It's generally been people feeling ill when I've been on investigations. They'll suddenly start feeling sick or get headaches. Personally, I've never seen a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found out where I was feeling ill was actually used as a medical room during the war. I wasn't aware of that at the time.
Oh, nice.
I started feeling ill and not very pleasant at all. Chest infection, and it was used during the war, during the First World War, for gas.
Oh, Christ.
See, my first impression with this one is, am I communicating with the devil? Well, even if you're not, if you're communicating with a genuine spirit, that gives them idea to play games above their station, because
exactly.
Carl knows I've done investigations since I was like 14.
Yeah.
Out of necessity in our own house sort of thing.
I've known Joe about 15 or 16 years. I must have known you about 10 years, Linda. So
yeah. And most of the time when you get something that
Linda, you got to, feel free to put your YouTube channel in the comments, because if ever I've got stuck on anything to do with history, I've always gone to Linda because she's a genius when it comes to history. She's saved
I'm just one of them kids. You know them kids that spend their entire life going, but what's that? But why? But why? But why? I'm just a grown-up version of that. That's all.
There was a house that I looked at to buy that was between Balliter, Scotland, and just right outside of the Cairngorm, toward Aberdeen. And I was looking at the house. I never actually went there because it sold before I could even think about doing it. But it was a house, and it was used as a hospital.
It's a little bit weird. I'm actually watching. I just realised who the third one was. It's me. I'm watching it through my television at the same time. So,
but yeah, this house was beautiful, and it was a burn hospital in World War I. They'd bring the patients in, and that's where they would recover or not. But I always thought that would have been a really interesting place to own.
I think that would be quite a busy place as well.
Yes.
I must admit,
there's a place in it.
Would not really want to live. I have lived in somewhere that was haunted, but it wasn't particularly active.
Yeah.
Spirit. It was an old man. Carl and Joe have heard me talk about this before, and my daughter actually could see the guy. He died in the house, in the back room of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like going in that back room, that back bedroom. And I always felt there was someone stood at the door watching me, my bedroom door. My daughter was bouncing on the bed and she kept looking at the door and then turned around and said, "He's not here." So who are you talking to? She says,
yeah, that's son,
Yeah, every house I've lived in has had someone. Some of them have had a few. This one has the previous tenant, and I know she died in the house, but I know exactly where she died in the house because suffice to say, the contracted cleaners didn't do such a good job. And I finished the job when I moved in. And I know from what I found that she cracked her head open. I found part of her scalp in the bathroom.
Is that one of those cases where they say, "Oh, it's just the way the floorboards grew"? You know, that's a pattern in floorboards, and you look at it and go, "No, that's a body."
yeah, exactly. And it appears that she fell and cracked her head in the bathroom. I know, spirit-wise, she knows she cracked her head because she can be a little bit confused and a little bit dementia patient-like. And then the next time she communicates, she's absolutely fine. But she seems to mostly stay in the bathroom, except when I'm decorating. She likes to come and shake the ladder when I'm at the top of it, which is when the neighbours get to have a good laugh at me shouting and bawling at an empty room.
You're changing things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like when I got my cat.
That's what causes a lot of it. A lot of people say they've never had activity, and then they start decorating or rebuilding or something, and then activity starts.
That's why I haven't redecorated in 13 years.
That's my excuse.
When I first got my cat last year, she came bolting out the bathroom with all her heckles up, meowing away at the top of her head, and I just went straight into the bathroom. I'm like, "Mary, behave yourself. The cat lives here now. Leave her alone." Because the neighbour I used to have knew Mary who lived here. That's how I know her name and I know who she was and all that kind of stuff. Because the neighbour that lived next door to me when I first moved in was born in these houses, and she was 86 when she died. So,
sorry, I was just
so she knew everybody in the street.
Right, we've got 4 people watching. Come and say hi. Don't be shy. We've got a guest, our first guest of our monthly.
Hey, Carl, that's me on there on that fourth one. I want to see the chat, and I couldn't log in through the chat in streaming.
Oh, okay.
That's why I disappeared earlier.
I tried that, but there is no chat.
That's why it kicked me out earlier. I hit the chat button out of curiosity, and it just kicked me out.
Yeah,
I
can get into the chat.
I know Martine said that she will watch it, but at the moment, I think she's still at work. Because she messaged me asking if we're doing live tonight, and obviously it's a Wednesday, so I'll let her know. So she will be in at some point. But anyway, this video, thoughts on it?
My own reaction is no. I don't think it's genuine. I think her reactions are genuine. But I don't.
You think there was somebody upstairs thumping on the floor?
Yeah,
that could be possible.
I mean, it shows everything.
It doesn't make it. One thing it doesn't make it clear is whether she's in the building alone or just doing that.
Exactly. That would be important to know.
It would, and you see. I'm sure at the start of the video when she's looking upstairs. That you see someone stood at the top of the stairs.
Ooh.
And I'm not. I was going to say you can run it back, but
I'm sorry. You've really piqued my interest now, Ian. I've got to look at that again. I'm sorry.
It was just on the right hand
the nosebleed thing.
That's the only thing that makes me hesitate because my automatic gut reaction is somebody playing silly buggers. but the nosebleed gives me that little bit of doubt.
The nosebleed for me could be a natural. Like I say, I think her reactions are genuine.
Stress, immediate kind of stress is happening, and she could get a nosebleed.
And she
stress can cause nosebleed.
Yeah.
Well,
I had a mate at school.
Contact a spirit named Brenda that she believes inhabits the home. But as she conducts her Ouija board session, she begins to suspect that she might be in contact with something much more sinister.
Am I dealing or am I speaking with the devil right now through this Ouija board?
When she's looking up,
it is not Brenda. You've just said it's Brenda. It's not Brenda, is it? Oh my God.
Right.
I'm trying to say.
I'm not sure.
Who am I communicating with? Who am I communicating with through this board?
Video of the opacity of the logo there that you're seeing.
Yeah, no, it's right
on one side. On one side, when it shows you the long shot up the stairs at the beginning, it looks like you can almost see like the line of where an arm finishes and comes in level with the leg.
I think that's stock footage, though. I don't think that's her footage.
That's
I think that's
what I was
footage.
wondering. She's got herself so hit up, her blood pressure must be through the roof. So, and by automatically saying, "Am I communicating with the devil?" You're automatically showing how scared you are, and anything that wants to play games is gonna come and play games because they can see how scared she is.
And it may be somebody other than the Brenda she's looking for. Some other spirit in the place. So
this is what winds me up with investigations these days. And I think Zach Baggins and his Bilbo and all his crew.
I'll call him Zach Bags.
Everything's a demon.
Yeah.
That's stock footage.
It is stock, right? Okay.
Yeah, that seems to be all stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped watching the American programs because everything's a demon. Oh, it's three knocks. It has to be a demon mocking the Trinity.
Yeah.
Hello, what do you do when you go to your pal's house?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
but no, it's demons.
The newest thing.
There's a demon at the door now.
The newest thing is that spirits are aliens and aliens.
Oh, you know me then.
The flying Ouija board bit. What do you think on that?
That got me because she's got her hands off. She doesn't seem to flick that. So on the speed it moved.
Too fast to be her. I was thinking it could be started with a tremor, with the fear. It could be started with a tremor, but then when she takes her hands off and the speed it goes. Something else.
It's like John said. If someone's operating the camera, they could be there with a piece of
literally just before
wire.
If you notice, literally just before, she's got her fingers on there, and her hands do go like this slightly. If we put it again, if I quickly do it again, you'll see her hands do move on the board. And the very first time I saw it, I thought maybe it's her causing that, but then looked at it a few times. I thought her hand movement isn't enough for that board to move that fast off the table.
The speed
and there is a gap in between the time.
So out of the three things that we're seeing,
and is using a Ouija
bloody nose and the board zipping out of there, two are very possible real things. Why not the knock if she's in there by herself?
Yeah.
So if we
may as well accept them all if we're going to accept two.
If you keep a close eye on her hands. Well, if I'll just quickly put the volume.
Brenda, you've just said it's Brenda. It's not Brenda, is it? Oh my God.
She does look extremely scared.
Yeah, she's in a
Who is through?
Yeah. the knock could still potentially be another investigator somewhere in the building.
It certainly could be. It could be. It's off screen.
But if you watch her hands do move slightly.
Well, she actually says you're trying to spell demon.
She starts moving her hands just literally before it goes.
Yeah, no, she's still got her
hands move literally just before it
goes. Yeah, she's still moving in the wrong direction to have flicked it off.
Yeah, she's got her fingers on the planchette, so if it was going to do that, it would have gone in the same direction she's moving. The planchette's moving. It doesn't. It shoots off. But again, that could be someone stood there with a fishing line yanking it away.
Could be.
Potentially, yeah. If it is acting, she's a pretty good actress.
Well, she definitely knows how to do scared if she is an actress.
I think the fear there is genuine.
Yeah,
I do too. Yeah. I think the bloody nose is genuine.
Yeah, that again is what makes me think it's genuine because
because right at the beginning of the video, she looks up and you can see it's already started.
Yeah.
It's just not formed enough to create the drip.
I went to school with a lad who had nosebleeds at the drop of a hat. You only had to look at his nose and it started bleeding.
I was one of them kids until I was about 7.
I was.
And he was forever going in and getting it cauterized, which to me sounded bloody horrendous.
Now you're smelling all those burned up nose hairs for weeks.
No,
so what are we thinking on that one, guys?
I'm on the fence. I'm getting splinters.
Yeah, it's
their reaction is genuine. I think the actual banging and the not so much.
What about the possibility that somebody else faked it but didn't tell her?
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
but isn't that her Ouija board though? Wouldn't she bring her Ouija board in and set it down?
Yeah.
And then go out and have a smoke. Or somebody attaches a fishing line to it.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I mean, it's possible. It's totally possible. But
I have to say I'm still on the fence as well with it.
My biggest problem is I don't know enough about it. One, we want to know whether there was anyone there with her. That isn't clear. 2,
I'm not sure. I don't know if he did on that one, but News Top 5, they often, if it's like a team or someone that's just randomly got something and they've posted it, they'll put their link under on the screen. So I might go back and have a look at that and see if I can find the full investigation later point.
I mean, she, like I say, her reaction is, for me, genuine. But, again, what's happened earlier in the night?
Yeah.
Because she was terrified.
Yeah.
And if she was there with a crew, like Linda said, is it them messing about? Is it them setting her up and she's not aware of it? She's in front of the camera, scared the living shit out of her.
Yeah.
And then post it. Look at the reaction. It's got to be genuine. That's the cynic in me talking.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I thought that, but as Joe said, like if it had been a blood capsule up the nose, you should have had to have gone like that or something to crack it, and she doesn't. So it could be, as Linda said.
Like I say, that's what makes me think it might be the crew playing around with her.
I don't think it's anything demonic. I think it's gone there.
It's not the devil. It's not demonic. It's just something messing with her.
She's asking for interaction, and they've gone, you want interaction? I'll give you interaction then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that happens so many times, and it's just Joe Blogg's random person is like, well, we can play games here.
Yeah.
But you also get, I mean, how often do people go into places and start trying to talk with spirits? It's not that often. Well, other than us.
All the
Other than
time.
idiots like us. But it can't be
As I
that.
regularly say, I'm an idiot anyway. So
Well, yeah.
I've
And
noticed. I've noticed with investigations, a lot of people go in and they say, "Okay, if you move this Ouija board, this planchette, or you knock on the wall, we'll leave."
And they never do.
Yeah, and they never do. You know, that's why I don't ever say that. You know, unless you get to the end of the investigation, we're getting ready to leave anyway. So you never say that.
Why the hell would you do that anyway? You're there to
they do it all the time.
You're there to
They do it all the time.
if you're in a haunted location,
show me you're here
if I'm
and
here,
I'll
we'll
leave.
go, right, there's a spirit here, knock, and then I'll leave. Now get a knock and be, well, I'm staying here to find out who that was. It just knocked on my door.
The one time I've done it, I say to them, I said to them the one time I've done it, if you can make this noise, I'll leave this room for an hour.
Yeah.
I'll go off elsewhere and I'll come back later on. And I've stayed true to what I've said, because all this tap and we'll leave and they don't, all that does is create distrust.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you don't
And
leave.
people forget these used to be people. And if you piss them off enough, you're going to get something thrown at you or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But they've no other way of communicating either.
Mm.
And if they're not used to doing it, they might use more force. And you say, what cracks me up is you say, not once for yes, twice for no. Is there anybody there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one there. You ain't going to knock twice, are you?
Okay, well, see you later then.
I sometimes add, when I've done that, I always add 3 times if you're not sure.
See,
Sorry, I've got typhoons going on over my head at the moment. Sorry.
No, right.
I mean, how the hell are we going to get on in future doing investigations? Are you male, female, binary, non-binary?
76 different things listed.
I'm a toaster.
I've got the list here.
Are you
talking
they are, isn't it?
They're not talking to me because I've not called them by the right pronouns.
See, that's why you always ask for a name and then you just use the name.
Ian always tries to bait me, but I'm not going there this week, Ian. Right, we've got one.
They don't usually need bait, Carl.
Hang fire, I've just got to grab my charger. My battery's running away.
No, you're fine.
Go for it.
We'll wait till Linda gets back. The next one we've got is from over the pond, from the good old US of A.
Fake. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, you've left fair.
It's an interesting one. It doesn't mean
Who's the producer, Spielberg?
It's an interesting one. It doesn't mean that it couldn't be faked fairly easily, but it is kind of interesting. This, well, I'll put it on. You'll say. So I keep seeing.
Exploring on the grounds of the Cherokee Heritage Center in Park Hill, Oklahoma. A collection of old buildings were built on the site of the former Cherokee Female Seminary, a boarding school for girls that burnt to the ground in 1887. Suddenly, Native Penguin starts to hear something very strange.
Sorry.
Am I tripping or is there something going on in here?
When he looked through the...
What the?
We
have a completely Cherokee audience and it's all about the Cherokee language. They all need peanuts. That was some O Senhor, ligado ko igahani, idadakhisani, idijalagi. After moving to Indian Territory, Cherokee Nation set aside 1 acre of ground to raise a church congregation. Moravians, Baptists. Dude, that's so creepy. Why is this?
The weird thing about that is they say that the place is closed for a long time, yet the audio is playing. So that makes you wonder why. I don't think that's paranormal, but it's unusual that the audio is still playing. But this is the bit coming up where he's potentially sits. It's on the right-hand side as we look through the window.
Even though the center has been closed down for years, there's an odd recorded message playing inside one of the buildings. Native Penguin looks in the windows to try to figure out just what is going on. He captures something on camera that is truly bizarre.
Okay. Dude, that scared me. I was like, there's someone in there.
At Mount Zion Church, where I pastor, we conduct our services in both languages, Cherokee and English. We have a completely Cherokee audience.
Some strange white apparition seems to glide by just behind the building's old wood stove and disappears. Now, some viewers say it looks like a girl in a white gown, but what do you see? Did Native Penguin capture the spirit of one of the girls from the old burned school that once stood here? You decide.
When I'm watching, I've got a 56-inch TV, so I can see it quite clearly on my TV. I don't know how well you're seeing it, but there is clearly a white human-like figure. Right. Probably have even less chance of seeing it.
I didn't see anything, I'll be honest.
I want them to clean the window and do the video again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That window is way too dusty. He's moving backwards and forwards in the video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a cloud going over behind him, and it was he's moved. Nah.
So there's not enough evidence to even say that's real or not.
No.
But I will say one thing though. When you could see the stove, my wiggy bits, as I call them, picked up there's actually a little boy sitting beside the stove regularly.
Yeah, I didn't pick up anything, but
No.
you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Tend to pick anything up off video. I've got to be there.
I can pick it up on video and pictures sometimes, but not often.
Yeah, it's only now and again for me, you know.
Right. I must admit, when I do, every hair on my body stands up, my arms go. I've been sat with my daughter watching videos, and there's definitely something, because, like I say, I can tell by me, and my daughter will be watching it, she'll look at me and go, I felt it as well.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one. We'll put that one down as a nothing then, shall we?
Yeah, because I mean,
like I said, if you're watching on TV screen, you can see it a hell of a lot clearer.
I'll have a look tomorrow when I get back from work.
Yeah.
On my proper telly.
Yeah, it's I'll have to try and find the link again to send it to you.
No, it's okay. I'll just come in and give us another view. I'll just do it so it counts as a view tomorrow.
I was going to say, watch it on telly.
I don't know how well you'll see it. You'll be able to see it, because it's obviously it's coming from my computer into StreamYard and then on, so it might not be that clear. Well, this one, I'm not sure.
48 minutes.
Right, let me. Yeah, we're going through them quite quickly today.
He had seen and heard some truly unexplainable things. So her son decided to spend the night in the house to try to capture the activity with his infrared camera. When he checked his footage, he found something truly bizarre.
Okay, everybody, hold still for a second.
There we go.
What
Hello?
was there?
The strange white shape of what almost looks like a child seems to walk from left to right at the top of the stairs. He says that he didn't see the figure at all until he played the footage back later. So is this a ghost caught on camera? Or?
There's on my arm.
Unfortunately, it really doesn't, because I've got a...
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see the movement. You can see it's not a reflection.
It's not a
You can see
reflection,
the movement, and you don't see
that
fake garbage like a picture being superimposed.
Yeah.
It looks like there's something there and it moves.
Yeah.
And it's gone. That's it.
For me, it turned.
The very first...
Yes.
It turned to walk through the door.
Looking down the steps and turn and walk. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the first time I saw it, because obviously when you got the IR camera, you got like the purple lights. And when I first watched it, I thought straight away I went, "Oh, that's the light reflecting on the top of the stairs." But then I watched it back a few times, and I was like, "Do you know what? I'm not so sure. It is the light."
No, for me that was, the first, as soon as I saw it.
Yeah. As soon as he looked up the stairs, I went, there's something there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I will have
the red arrow put in.
Nuke sometimes on some of their videos, they put funny clips on there. And there was one of this guy in America, he was shitting his pants because the chair was moving across the floor. And what it turned out to be was he's got an elderly dog that's incontinent that has a nappy on, and it had gone underneath the stool, and its nappy had caught onto the bottom of the stool, and it was dragging the stool across the room.
Yeah.
So thoughts on that one, guys?
I think that's genuine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
To me, if they were going to fake it, it would have been a lot more clearly defined.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more set up too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of video that you love to capture, because you just spin your camera and you look up, it's there.
It's there, and it's like I say, you can see it actually turn and move through the door.
Yeah.
I think it was something
to me,
walking up the stairs just as he happened to turn, and it was walking up the stairs to go into that room. I don't think it was coming left to right. I think it was coming up and to the right.
Looks to me like it's looking down the stairs at the person with the camera.
That's exactly the feeling I got, Joe. He was looking down at him. And
I think they were in their routine. I think it's a young lass as well. I think she was in her usual routine, doing her usual path, and then it's like, oh crap, there's a human. Let's duck in here.
So
that's what it felt like to me.
Are you thinking more intelligent or residual, Linda?
I do think it's more residual than anything else, but I do think she's aware of the person coming up the stairs.
Yes,
it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of them that's almost worn out.
Yeah. To me, they were looking downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were watching him. And
reacting.
Had to go up.
Like I told you in Messenger I had some interesting ones.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Right. Let's look at the next one. I was going to do some photos, but I thought photos, they're too easy to fake. A video's slightly harder to fake than a picture is. So
I can send you a photo that I took with the disposable camera. I got a good photo I took with the disposable camera. I can send you it.
Again,
contact us at nukestop5@gmail.com.
Yes.
A haunting visit. Kimberly Carlisle from Waynesboro, Mississippi received a motion detection update on her outdoor security camera. When she checked the footage, she found something truly creepy. The video quickly gained popularity. Many curious viewers commented that it looks like there's two.
Seen that one before.
Apologies.
That could very easily just be weather. That could be temperature differentials. That could be all sorts of stuff. Fog is easily created.
There we are.
if you slow it right down, the bit where it looks like a female figure with her head bowed and her hands in front of her fits perfectly into the shape of the porch.
Huh.
But it did get me. First time I saw it, I was like, wow. And then I watched and watched and watched.
Well, let me bring that back up again. Oh, hold on, that's coming back up now. Let's have a...
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's not a perfect match, but it's close enough to give me that doubt.
Yeah. That, to me, is, that could, like Joe said, that could be a changing weather, that could be a variate. I mean, I can do that outside my bloody garage at night when the heater's on.
I mean, it's really good.
Well, where I live, you get the fog patches appearing from nowhere. You'll have half a mile of road where there's absolutely nothing, and then there's one little patch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I grew up in Alaska, so it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah. To me, that definite no.
It looks good though.
It just seems weird. It just seems weird that if it is a fog bank, why is it only on top of that one car?
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, we've had that.
I would like to know what's more to the left.
Here, Carl.
Yeah.
What's more to the left? Is there a truck there that's got exhaust going off?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it.
How long has the car was used? It could be the heat of the engine. And wet car, the heat, the
wind came up and there was a fog created. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it where me and my friend were out driving before I could drive. And we're going along this road, which is supposed to be haunted, but we weren't thinking along that lines at the time. We were just singing along the stereo. And I got a wiggy and I said to her, I'm like, slow it right down now. There's something coming up. And just as she hit the brakes, a little fog patch literally dropped in front of the car like a stone, resembled a person, and disappeared.
Yeah.
But that was before we knew that road had stories. But it was like, whoa, what the hell was that? I'm like, I don't know, but at least you slowed down when I asked you to.
Yeah. But it's like we said I think we said in one of the other ones as well. I don't think there's a single school on the planet that doesn't have allegedly, a pupil died here from falling downstairs story going around it.
Yeah.
As well. It's kind of the same sort of thing with most paranormal stuff. Everywhere you go, this road's haunted, this building's haunted, that church, no matter what, So we're calling that one just like something natural but unexplained.
Yeah.
When I was growing up in Alaska, we had I was taking an ex-girlfriend of mine in to take her SAT tests for school. And my car died at their house, so we borrowed her mom's car, this little thing. We couldn't get the windows scraped off in time, and she was running late, of course, and there's ice everywhere. So we're driving really slow, and I've got this little circle of clearness there, and I'm driving along, and all of a sudden, wham, right through Amanda's side of the car, a huge moose leg crashes through the windshield, lands right between her legs, hits the floor, and then pulls out and runs. And of course, I've got to drive Mandy in there to the school, and she goes, I don't think I can take the test now. I'm really scared. So we turn around and go back to the house, and her mom is so mad at me because she's got a window or a hole in her windshield now, and she did not believe the story. Well, okay, I'm just going to go out there and grab something and throw it through your windshield, right?
Come on, tell the truth. You flopped it out, mate, and broke the window by accident.
Yeah, we could have told her it was a ghost. She probably
she wasn't wearing stilettos at the time, was she?
Well, I've never been over there, but even I know moose don't like cars.
No. And of course, the moose stands a lot taller, and this little car was there. Just stomp right through it and leave.
Yeah, they make red deer look like English deer.
Mm-hmm.
The deer that you have down in England are about the size of most of the pet dogs I've had. Our deers are more like cow size.
Well, the more munjacks, whatever they're called, they're not on the road here, aren't the biggest.
No, they're definitely not the biggest. Yeah.
Right,
yeah, you meet a road deer on the road, your car ain't coming out of it.
No.
This one I downloaded, I don't actually remember downloading it, so I can't remember what the video clip is. So it'll be interesting for me.
I hope it's not one of those other videos you download.
Who some of you might know from the popular TV series Ghost Hunters, has dedicated many years of his life to researching and recording the paranormal. But even for Brandon, there is one investigation that stands out as particularly creepy. And that is the investigation of the historic RMS Queen Mary. The RMS Queen Mary sailed the North Atlantic Ocean from 1936 to 1967, serving as both a cruise ship and even an Allied troop ship during World War II. The ship has seen its fair share of tragic deaths, one of them being that of a little girl who drowned in the ship's swimming pool. Many visitors and employees claim that the ship's swimming pool area is very haunted, and some even say that they've seen the spirits of both women and children dressed in 1930s style swimsuits. While investigating the swimming pool area, Brandon and a fellow investigator both hear something disturbing.
He's coming up the street.
Come closer. No way. Get out some of that. Get out. Go. Get out.
An unknown voice yells out from somewhere nearby.
I'm not hearing it.
But that's not all that Brendan captured on the RMS Queen Mary. Now, Brendan is completely alone except for one other investigator and a security guard. The pool is empty and is no longer in use, and the area is off limits to all other guests. So what happens next is truly chilling. Did you see it? Someone or something can be seen in one of the swimming pool changing stalls. The chilling figure appears to have glowing eyes as it watches the small group from the shadows. Brendan says that they did not see anything at the time of the recording.
On there because it's glitching too much.
That's pretty good though. Now I've been to the Queen Mary a couple of times.
You have?
That day was 60 miles from my house. Why not, right?
Why not?
So,
indeed.
You go to the Queen Mary and you walk in on a tour, and I could feel something in the pool area. And there was a couple other places you could feel things. So I know there's something there because I personally felt it. So I'm not going to even doubt this myself because I've seen other people capture things. People have captured EVPs. I didn't have any equipment with me because it was a tour. I couldn't get in to do the investigations.
That I can well believe there is something. What annoys me with things like this is why do they always put background sounds in?
To make it interesting.
It just annoys the bleeding hell out of you because you can't hear what they're supposed to be.
Because you got the music.
Can you hear that? No, all I can hear is your fucking music.
Your bloody music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your water.
Yeah.
It was only a quick visit this week.
The other thing is, like you said, if you're doing a video, you're walking round, why is the camera doing that? You're walking round.
The reason I personally don't believe that one is because he was formerly on the TV show with Zach Baggins. That's the one. That's the only reason why I don't believe it.
Brandon Alvis wasn't.
Well, that's what I said in the clip.
He's been on the show, but he's not part of the show. He wasn't part of the show originally. That guy was Nick. Nick was there, and he's doing his own thing now with his wife. And then you've got the rest of them are all Jay and all of them are there. But Brandon was just there a couple of times. He wasn't there permanently. You know,
I used to help run a website for a fan website for an unnameable UK show, and
they couldn't find a name for it.
They couldn't find a name.
Not legally allowed to name them. And people used to like sending us in.
Were they mostly on TV?
Mostly, yeah. And I'm on it. So, yeah, on the website, we used to get quite a lot of fans sending in stuff. What do you think, guys? And we got some amazing stuff, which was later shown on another big American show.
Caught on camera?
4 letters.
Yeah.
And we also got sent behind the scenes footage. And on their show, you see the bedding in one of the rooms is flipped back like somebody's getting in it. But in the behind the scenes footage, you see a certain gentleman with a 4-letter surname pulling a string from the other side of the room.
Yeah.
However, I have spoke to enough people who have heard that voice on millions of other videos.
Yep.
Other people over the last, 30, 40 years since What's His Face did it. My other half has a family tie to that ship. They worked on that ship. One of my other half's family members. And, of course, there was nothing noticeable then. I don't know if the story of Jackie is even remotely true, but there is definitely something in the pool area because you can feel it coming through the videos, even though I've never been anywhere near it.
Yeah. You can feel it while you're standing there.
Yeah.
Like say, Linda, I have seen other investigations there.
Yeah.
And heard the same.
Yeah. That's the thing that makes me believe that bit, because it's always the same voice. But the second bit that it says on that recording, to me, reminded me of Penelope Pitstop cartoon. Help!
Yes.
Help! Is what I heard.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't know about the figure in the changing rooms, though. I'm doubtful on that.
Well, again, there was so much camera movement.
Yeah, it was like a cardboard cutout.
It could have been anything. It could have been a bloody fire extinguisher. It could have been
somebody's jacket thrown in out the way.
Yeah.
Stack of towels or something.
Yeah, it could have been absolutely anything. But I do believe, like you say, Linda, that EVP, I've heard the same on other. I mean, people go on about TV shows and that. There isn't one of them that I take with any sort of like a huge shovel full of salt. Because
that's why I only did 4 episodes of the one I was on.
Because at the end of the day, they do 10 shows in a series. And every show
has something.
Something.
See, Linda's saying about that. Linda's saying about she's seen it.
I've been on investigations. I'm sure you have. I've been on hundreds of investigations, and 9 times out of 10, you get absolutely bugger all. You might
7 hours of nothing. 7 hours of nothing for 5-minute excitement.
Right.
They get a full show's worth for 10 shows for umpteen series.
Yeah.
Either they're bloody unlucky or lucky.
What Linda said, I'll tell you what that reminds me of, and it's used in a lot of films. I just had to Google because I couldn't remember the name, but it's the Wilhelm scream. They use the same scream is used when people are falling in films.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
But that sort of reminds me of what Linda said about hearing the same thing in multiple clips. So
this one is a lot of these that I've heard aren't people who are doing it for a living.
Yeah.
People like us who put it up as a clip. I went round and this is what I've captured.
Yeah. And you do hear it when it's not always saying the same thing. There's different rhythm, different cadence, and different things. I mean, yeah, you've got the famous ones with the dude with the long hair and tash, whose name escapes me at the moment. I think he's a Peter. But you've got so many random Joe Blogs ghost hunter like us that have also gotten that voice when they've been able to sneak past security and get in there. So,
who would do that?
Gee. I think we've all done that several times, haven't we?
I'm taking
I deny that.
I'm taking the fifth.
I've never once broke the law. 5 or 6
The
times,
law.
maybe. But...
I've never broke the law because technically in Scotland there is no law of trespass.
Cemetery records this shocking footage.
This one was kind of interesting. I'm not sure. Oh, here we go.
Cemetery
again.
French style. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, there's more action on from the side as well.
You know, they didn't even need the red circle.
No.
When you have, I could see it doing it without the circle and then going back in and doing it with the circle.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was just obvious as soon as that started moving.
But there's also stuff down the right-hand side of the screen and a little something at the top as well.
Yes. Can you run that back again?
The only trouble is if that is CCTV. Yeah, of course, can yeah. Trouble is if that's CCTV, they tend to film in 15 seconds because, as you know, I do the astrophotography. It'll take 4 minutes to take a picture. What it does, it holds the aperture open for 15 seconds, closes it, and then reopens it for 15 seconds. And that is often how a CCTV camera works.
Right.
Yeah.
So it could simply be to do with that. Let me bring that back up again.
It's the way it moves, though, along the path.
Delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It caught my interest, but it's just waiting for it to load up. It caught my interest, but I'm just thinking way cameras work, especially CCTVs, they do tend to have a slight delay.
The cemetery records this shocking footage.
Actually, what I'll do, I'll watch it on my TV. I'll be able to see it better.
Yeah, you see it materializing.
Yeah.
See that? And that's the most interesting figure out of all of them in the cemetery there.
Yeah.
You know what I'd love to see? If you go to
that over on the left-hand side of the screen. Sorry, Joe?
Oh no, in Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh. They've got those apartments right along there, or the businesses right there, the pub. I'd love to set up a camera right there and just have it go all night, looking out of that window into the cemetery.
I know someone who did that, and the following day his flat went up in flames.
Really?
Yeah. Jan Andrew Henderson, that used to run the visitor centre for Greyfriars Cemetery.
Right. Yeah.
His flat backed onto it, and he decided he was going to film overnight one time when he was away, and he came back in, switched everything else off, got into bed, and literally 2 hours after he went into bed, the flat was up in flames, and there was no proper cause found. It was just like, well, it could have been this or it could have been that, because they did a full investigation, because those buildings, they're all like 7-8 floors that back onto that cemetery. So I've done 2 or 3 overnighters where we've actually been locked in there for the whole night. It's don't go without your psychic protection or your inner get knotted message being broadcast.
Well, I went up last year. I've worked up round there before, but it's usually one of them. You work in places, you never actually get to see the bloody place.
Yeah.
So I did a long weekend up there, and I went round the kirkyard. And I walked in, and I've never been there before. I had no idea where anything was. I'm walking around, and I kept getting drawn to this mausoleum tomb.
Mackenzie's?
Yeah, it was. I found out after. It was one of those. I kept, you know, that you get that feeling you're being watched.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around, and so I went over to it, and I booked myself on one of these ghost tours while I'm up there. Why not?
Yeah, the first time I did it, I was there. I did it.
And met up at midnight, walking round, and we actually went in the kirkyard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only when we walked over, and he says, "And this is the famous Mackenzie."
Yeah,
I was bloody drawn to this all afternoon.
I've only got one story with the Mackenzie tomb. I had already done the tour a few weeks previous, and I was back down again for something else, and I just went for a nosy. And met in, you know, as you do in a place like Edinburgh, you meet in with folk in the pub, and you kind of strike up a wee mini friendship. So I took them round because they'd never been. And I took them round Greyfriars Cemetery, and I'm sitting on the doorstep of Mackenzie's tomb. And I could feel somebody walking towards me. And I'm like, right, I'm just going to bait this as long as I can. And I says to the guy, I says, look, you're more likely to do it than the woman is. Stick your camera lens right up towards the grating so that you can see in. And I gave him my torch so he could shine the torch in to see. And as soon as the torch went through, it turned itself off and it wouldn't go back on.
Right.
And I'm like, right, okay, just record as it is then. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can feel you coming towards me. This isn't my first visit. You should recognize me. Please be nice, be nice. And all you got on the camera was coming from the door. And I'm like, okay, I'll be moving now. Thank you.
If I remember right, at Mackenzie's tomb, there was a stormy night or a rainy night or something, and a tramp went in there and he got attacked, didn't he?
Yeah, he fell through the grating into basically the pile of bones that's down there, and the skull was nicked as well after that. Yeah. Some lads were found, they had been playing football with it in the cemetery, and they thought it was hilarious. And one of them went to take it home, and there was all sorts of weird stuff started kicking off at his house. And his mom found it and said, where the hell did you get this from? Take it back now. And she made him put it back. There's all sorts of different stories about that. But I mean, the official line from the city council is it's kept locked because too many people were coming out with scratches and bruises and stuff at the Covenanters prison, which is the gate just along from George's tomb.
Right. That whole long hallway, passageway back there.
Yeah, that's why that bit's kept locked. And Jan Andrew Henderson, the one whose flat went up in fire, he actually bought the key off of the city council so he could take his tours in, which is why you have to sign a waiver when you go in there.
I think I was on his tour because we went into the Covenanters prison when I was there.
Yeah.
And
I've heard the tour guides that are usually stood.
Well, there was I don't know if he was an author and investigator or just an investigator, but he said he wanted to get to the bottom of it, and him and his female friend went there, and he went in and done this, that, and the other, and I think it's something like about a week later he actually died.
Yeah.
he'd got an EVP, he's a funny EVP, and he did die. But he'd on the run up to that, the woman had been getting a bad feeling and saying, "I don't think you're going to survive if you go into this. Something's going to happen to you."
Yeah,
he did die.
One of the overnighters that I did was I was acting as a kind of temporary PA for Richard Felix when he was in Edinburgh. And we did an overnighter within the Covenanters prison bit. And basically we split the group into 4. And because there's 4 completely enclosed mausoleums, because it was January and it is Scotland.
Right. Cool. Yeah.
So, and we were all in... Yeah, just a wee bit. Edinburgh is colder than it is up here, and I'm 5 hours further north, but hey-ho.
Yeah.
And while we're in there, the group I was given, I've seen more psychically sensitive house bricks with the group that I was given. I was getting heat waves, I was getting cold waves, I was feeling people playing with my hair, and none of them had anything. And I, in the finish up, went, "Oh, thank you very much." And at one point, my back got really warm, and I thought, "Oh, that's nice. It's January. You're lending me some of your heat to warm me up, so I feel a bit more comfy." Thank you. That's great. And I reported it, and of course, everybody had to fill out whatever they noticed or thought they noticed, because of course, you always get people
renowned for burning people.
Well, you see, I got back to the hotel and jumped into the shower and screamed the place down. I had a scratch that had drawn blood from the nape of my neck to the crack of my ass. And me being me, I'm stood in the mirror for about 20 minutes trying to copy it to see if I can get the same angle. And I couldn't get the same angle. And I'm like, okay, it just felt like a pleasant warm patch when I was in there. But it was a blood-drawn scratch from the nape of my neck to the crack of my arse.
Some men pay good money for that sort of thing, Linda.
Yeah, I know. Maybe,
Right,
maybe that's a private tour that Jan needs to look at doing.
when I was
around 4 o'clock in the morning, the camera is facing the fenced-off backyard of a long abandoned house. When he shares the CCTV footage on TikTok, viewers are shocked.
Oh.
Ooh.
What appears to be the small figure of a little girl can be seen walking along the edge of the abandoned home's backyard. Now, because the house is empty and because this was captured at 4 in the morning, TikTok user Able3E and his friend have no idea who the mysterious child could be. The property is surrounded by a high...
I like that one.
There's that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. I do think that's a real one.
That's, yeah. Whether
just
it's
the way she
paranormal
moved,
or not, I don't know, but
zips along.
There's definitely something walking there.
Yes, there's a big fence around the whole thing, but I don't mean a child can't climb over the fence and run through there trying to take a shortcut. And as it's CCTV, like I said,
when you watch that one on the telly, you can actually see it is a night dress she's wearing.
Yeah. Right.
So whether she's someone with a pulse or without a pulse, I'm not entirely sure, but she's definitely there.
Yeah, there's definitely someone there, yeah.
In the first part, as she's coming out from behind that building, it looks like she's gliding.
Yes.
And then it's more like she's walking after that. So I really
and you
like
see that so many times on genuine videos as well, where it's just a vague gliding and then it takes form and walks. You see that so many times.
Yeah.
Surely, though, if it is something gliding, that means that the floor level was at a different level originally.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Carl, did you get the one?
There was a famous one in Colchester.
Excuse me.
I'm trying to think what it was. There's a famous one. Oh, and we lost Ian.
Did you download the one of the little kid walking around in the mortuary?
No.
Oh, the one with the security guard.
Yes.
Yes, I've been watching that one recently.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's that one where it seems to emerge up from the ground to be a child stood there.
Yeah, and then the child walks around and then runs back to the hallway.
Yeah. That's
was
security guards got brass balls, I'll tell you.
That's a really good one. I thought you might have seen that one because it's
yeah, because it's over a matter of a number of weeks, and you see him wandering around the mortuary, and he's like, you're fixing to get yourself arrested here. Come on, and then you get you can't see me. And it's like, yeah, I can't see you. You need to get out of here.
I'm just checking because Ian, we seem to have lost Ian.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just message him quickly. I don't know if it's my end or if he's got kicked. I'm not too sure. But yeah, no, that one. But we've got we've got 5 people watching. So if
hello, everybody,
come and say hello. We're getting there slowly with people starting to watch. This is only what, our 5th or 6th live, so it was starting to get to know us.
Please click the like button to make sure Carl keeps doing these with Joe and Ian.
Oh, we have a great laugh anyway, don't we, Joe? Just go wait for Ian.
The one that you couldn't figure out who was watching the other night was me, but it kept dropping signal on me because we had a storm up here. So I couldn't get into the chat because it wouldn't hold the signal long enough to load the chat.
It doesn't storm in Scotland. Come on.
No, not at all.
Storm in Scotland. Yeah, but I know. Oh, he's back.
There we go.
I've just seen the name he's put there. Oh, it is Tina. I thought so. Hi, Tina, sweetheart. Tina over in Ireland.
Hi, Tina.
She's been following us from the start. So yeah, thoughts on that last one?
Are we still on the
little girl?
That's the fence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did put more on. Joe's looking for one that he's been viewing recently. Sorry, 2 seconds.
There's a whole chain of them as well. But the thing is, they're all being split unless you've made a note of the actual security guard's account.
Yeah, this one here. This one's good, but I don't. It's not the one I was looking for. Let me come back.
I'll leave these to that between each other. Go give this a second to kick in. Typical, right in the middle of a live, and angina start playing up.
It's not allowed to. It has to go away.
Yeah, I've got the. I don't like this one because it burns like acid.
Mm.
Okay, let me see if I can upload this to the present video file.
Tina, you'll have to come on as one of our guests. I know you're not an investigator or anything, but it'd be nice to have you on.
Well, if she's for Ireland, you could always do a myths and legend thing there with the Fae and such like.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I've just got a message in.
These are all things I did. Go ahead and talk about other things while I figure this out real quick.
Yeah, I'll be all right, Tina. Yeah, I've got me angina spray. Right. So yeah, thoughts on that? Like the one of the possible little girl in the back garden.
I like it.
I think there's definitely something. Whether it's paranormal or not, I don't know, but there's definitely. I would say, given the time of day it was filmed and everything, it's unlikely to be a child. So,
yeah. And if it is a living person, somebody phone the police and get her some help.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because if she's out at that time in the morning, she's trying to escape something.
Yeah,
that's really yeah.
Carl, I'm putting the link on on Messenger.
Yeah,
here.
check up. Where did you send that? You sending that here?
I'm just going to grab a juice.
Carl chat.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure how to swap that over from Messenger.
Can you save it from there and move it? Because I can't see where it saved it.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me go and have a quick look for you.
Sorry, it's not snakes in the house. It's opening juice.
No, you should be able to upload it to. Should be able to upload it to.
Yeah, but I don't know where it downloaded to. That's the thing.
It ran away.
Right, okay, let me see.
It's not in downloads, and it's not in.
Oh, geez.
Hang on, let me see if I can.
No, it's not letting me, unfortunately, Joe.
Darn it!
If you said no, I'm on the computer, I won't be able to do it at the same time. I'd have to actually download it with a download program, unfortunately. That's a shame. Can you send it? Well, you've sent it to me.
I mean, it's. I don't think it's the one I was thinking. It may be, but
security guard checks strange noises in a funeral home.
Let me see. We need to have a new window, incognito window.
I don't think I'm going to be able to. No, it's not going to show.
Yeah, it just keeps opening up in web. If I download it, it just.
Okay, I'm back. We'll see if we can sort that one. Right, this one's for fun. This one's more for fun.
Sorry.
No, right.
There it goes.
This one's for fun, and it's my favourite.
Caught on camera. Something in the sewer. Now, this next strange video was recorded for educational purposes by the Athens, Georgia Public Utilities Department. The clips were actually filmed as an educational video for kids to show children what you can and can't flush down a toilet. The footage shows a robotic camera being guided through a long sewer system. Everything appears normal until the camera approaches something very strange in the dark water.
Is that a hand?
Something that almost looks like a small headless pale torso appears to be disturbed by the camera, and a creepy looking hand seems to reach out.
I know my old computer was a pain in the ass, but I think that would at least had more memory. It would have played the videos a bit better. But right, so thoughts on that?
Having worked on the motorway network and having seen cameras going down drainage pipes and stuff like that and through sewers, and that is nothing unusual.
I think it's a frog.
You see all sorts and you believe it. It could be a nappy, it could be anything. The motion of the camera pushing the water forward.
Yeah.
It could be a doll that somebody flushed down there.
It could be absolutely anything.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like a frog flexing its leg.
Possibly,
yeah. It is very much like a frog hand. Anyway, for sure.
Yeah. You've no idea. Again, it doesn't
with
give you
everything that goes through. Well, that's it. I mean, everything that goes through the sewers, everything's going to stick together and create God knows what kind of horror story looking stuff.
Yeah. You've no idea if that's a 6-inch pipe or a 18-inch 3-foot pipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I thought that one on
like I say, having seen umpteen, spent too many bloody hours watching them. To see where we got collapses and the like.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's nothing unusual.
Yeah. This one, I don't hold much credence to this one, but well, once it plays, you'll see. Let's have a look. That's a shame I can't get that one that Joe sent to work.
Her new house with her son and 2 daughters, she didn't know much about the property's history or previous owners. But as it turns out, a man had taken his own life in the house many years ago. Even stranger, the previous owner said that the house was haunted by that man's ghost and had left in fear. So, not long after Leanne and her family move into the house, odd, unexplainable things begin to occur. One day, Leanne notices her 6-year-old son Dylan exhibiting some very odd behavior.
Apologies for the glitch.
Little Dylan is playing with his toys in the living room when he can be heard saying, "Who's that?" Then Dylan seems to be looking at something that we can't see, before quickly spinning around, seemingly frightened by something behind him, almost as if he felt something touch him. And things just get creepier from here. One autumn day, Leanne is outside filming little Dylan as he plays in the fallen leaves. Then this happens.
Right, that's happening.
When he looks round, you can see the shoulder and sleeve of his shirt move just before he looks round.
Right.
Yeah.
So something's tapped him on the shoulder or shoved him or something.
I'll have to look much
And
better.
you can tell by the look on his face.
Yeah.
The look of total confusion. Why?
And it's not acting.
That's not acting.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely not.
And the reaction when he first.
Well, it continues.
Who's that?
Well,
that's not. If it is acting.
Oh, it continues slightly. So he does look genuinely confused.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
Right. So here's the next bit. I might as well just turn off the audio. Right, I've just got to get that second.
Very odd behavior.
Right, his teeth is shut.
Little Dylan is playing with his toys in the living room when he can be heard saying, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
Then Dylan seems to be looking at something that we can't see, before quickly spinning around, seemingly frightened by something behind him, almost as if he felt something touch him. And things just get creepier from here. One autumn day.
That's interesting.
Very odd behavior. Almost as if he felt something touch him. And things just get creepier from here.
It keeps jumping back.
One autumn day, Leanne is outside filming little Dylan as he plays in the fallen leaves.
There you go.
Yeah, he's shoved.
The way that boy goes, the way he goes down, it looks like he's pushed.
Definitely.
That's not acting. He's been given a genuine shove.
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't a tap on the shoulder. It was a shove.
And it's not a grown-up either. The height he looks at when he turns round and where he got pushed, it's another child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he almost doubles in half, as if he's been pushed quite forcefully.
Really hard,
The reason I downloaded that is because it was kind of similar to the one I showed of when I was on my investigation and got pushed. Because you see my body jerking where I got pushed from behind. His body almost crumples in half.
Yeah.
I mean, the first bit where he turns around and said, "Who's that?" Like you said, Linda, he's looking at his own level.
Yeah.
And when he turns back again, he's looking down.
Mm-hmm.
He's not looking up as if he's looking at an adult. He's
Yeah.
looking.
I'm actually wondering if it's two children, one that's the same height as him and one that's smaller, because where he's pushed, if it was a kid his size, it would probably be his chest that was pushed, not his belly. So I think it's a younger one that's pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think in the first one,
like
the one his own size is in front of him when he turns round.
Yeah.
And it's the hand on his shoulder, like you said, it's on his right shoulder. You almost see it go down, and that's when he turns and looks down.
Until Linda said that, I hadn't noticed that until Linda mentioned it. And then when I watched it back, I actually saw you can literally see his t-shirt, his top crumple slightly.
Yeah.
As if somebody's just gone like that to him.
And he actually looks at his shoulder first.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And then down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But kids, we've said this in previous discussions, kids are a lot more susceptible, a lot more open.
I got to put some lights on now the sun's gone.
As adults, our brain is geared to denying what's in front of us.
Yeah.
I don't recognise that. I don't believe in that sort of shit. So it's not there. It's not happening.
Yeah, anyone that's watching, I don't know if anyone that has been watching has any comment on any videos we've shown. If they have, that'd be interesting to hear. So I'm just trying to get... So what are your thoughts on that one, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely real.
Definitely thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the way he crumples in half. And like in the video I showed of me at Santon Church, my back crumples in the middle before I go forward.
Yeah.
And that's almost like the same thing. But whereas I was pushed from behind and felt it, you can see he's been pushed.
Yeah.
And he looks like Linda said, it's probably someone smaller than him because it seems to be the stomach that he's pushed from. He literally folds in half. So
if he'd been coached, you'd have seen him throw himself back.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
No,
because they can't do that without the arms.
Yeah.
Well, like as you know, I've got my children are autistic, and there's one of them. If he wants to get a certain bit of attention more than the other two, he'll say, "Oh, well, he's pushed me or he's kicked me or whatever." And I've actually seen him throw himself like that.
Yeah.
But that's nothing like the way that does. That is physically like. Best way to describe it, it'd be like in the Doctor Strange film when she hits him out of his body,
right?
And his body, or in the Spider-Man No Way Home, where his body crumples as his spirit comes out of the body. That's almost the way and that's obviously done on wires like that, unless they've gone to a hell of a lot of
they're pulled from behind in the small of the back.
Yeah. So I think that's a genuine one myself.
Yeah. His reaction is just too real.
Yeah.
Too honest.
Again, to coach a kid to do that, you're not going to get it.
No.
So
no. I can't even help Heidi coach the kids to tidy the bedrooms, so you ain't going to teach them that. Right, there was another one. I'm trying to look at my screen, but I ain't got my reading glasses on. I really hate having to swap over.
See, this is the difference because I was short-sighted to start with. I have to take my glasses off now to look at small print, and because everybody else is putting theirs on.
Yeah, my ex has to now. No, I've about 2 months ago, I got told I got cataract starting in both eyes. I've been made to start wearing glasses. All because of joyful diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know yourself being diabetic anyway, so I'm now being put on insulin.
by some sort of entity or poltergeist. They say that they often experience unexplained activity, so they decided to set up a security camera in an attempt to catch some of these strange phenomena on video. They upload their spooky captures to their YouTube channel, Ragnar and the Viking Family. So, early one evening after dinner, one of the kids is sitting at the dining room table with their laptop when this happens.
Unfortunately, he really doesn't like being live, playing video and audio at the same time.
Anyway, it'll be time for bed to the bed.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a quick shower.
Okay.
Okay, and just shout if you need anything.
Okay.
We love you.
Love you.
Yeah, the homework can wait.
The initial bit of this. Yeah.
I like her reaction. Now, it seems relatively
I'm on the fence.
But once again, with shots like this, everything that moves is moved by something, either a spirit or it's moved by something off screen.
Yes.
And you can't see this chair on the right-hand side, except when it starts to move. And then the one on the left of her on the screen is kind of, it moves, but is it a spirit moving it or
is there something, is it a dog under the table?
Right, his little brother sitting around the corner over there with a piece of fishing wire.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I used to be a nanny, and every kid I've ever met that kind of age, something like that happens. When the first chair moves, you're going to have a case of the screaming abdabs running out of the room.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's acting like it's an almost everyday occurrence, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm just leaving. It's like how I would react after 52 years experience of weird stuff happening.
Right.
So.
From the actual, unfortunately, because we're doing the live, I'm trying to play the video and the audio, and it's only a cheap laptop. Well, cheapish laptop. The audio doesn't the time, and that's why they start putting cameras around. Now, initially, the thing that makes me a tiny bit suspicious is, yes, Dad's come in, right, and it's just after he leaves the screen that the first chair moves.
Yeah.
Like it's a cue.
So potentially...
and look at how the first chair did move. He went through that door on the far left, and the chair pulled that direction.
The chair moves that way.
Yeah. Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, now, I'm thinking the door that he initially walked in, if a spirit was going to push it, it would have gone closer towards that door. But it tends to, it looks like it turns slightly off towards the left.
Right.
Yeah. Which is,
it doesn't go straight towards the door.
Yeah.
No. If he's got fishing line or something round it, to me, that is how it would work.
Because the first chair is kind of like a stuttery movement.
Yeah.
It's not a smooth movement. So I would kind of agree with that.
As it reaches a leg, it comes round.
Yeah.
To follow him, which is exactly what it would do if it was on a cord.
Yeah.
And the other chair, like Joel says, you can't see it. It could be.
Can't see anything other than the chair moving.
Yeah.
Can you run it back, Carl?
To be honest with you, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Let me play that again.
In an attempt to catch some of these strange phenomena on video, they upload their spooky captures to their YouTube channel, Ragnar and the Viking Family. So, early one evening after dinner, one of the kids is sitting at the dining room table with their laptop when this happens.
There's a skeleton with a hood against the wall. It does look like something. I think it's a school bag, fly shots.
Anyway, it'll be time for bed. Do the bit.
See
I'm
half
going to go for a quick shower.
Okay.
Okay, and just shout if you need anything.
Okay.
We love you.
Love you.
Yeah, so that moves straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
See that chair, the first chair moves literally the second screen. The one at the other end of the table.
In an attempt to catch some of these strange phenomena on video, they upload their spooky captures to their YouTube channel, Ragnar and the Viking Family. So, early one evening after dinner, one of the kids is sitting at the dining room table with their laptop when this happens.
She could have shoved that with a fork.
Yeah.
You can't see her face.
No.
Gotta watch her body though, see if it looks like she's kicking something. See you later. Good night.
See, watch this moves literally the second the dead leaves the screen.
It didn't look like she was moving though to kick the chair.
No.
But
and when the chair goes down, you can actually see her foot there.
Right.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, but she swings round.
Yeah.
That bit, I'm not. Well, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
That could be. That could have been absolutely anything. Something else allegedly they captured.
I was going to say that looks like a younger brother crawling about on all fours, I would say.
It's either a younger brother or a dog.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
A lot of movement for security cameras.
Audio on again.
No one else here.
Yeah. I heard banging.
I'm gonna stay here.
Huh?
I'm gonna stay here. It's too scary.
Alright.
I'm gonna stay here.
Didn't come from this area of the house, but it sounded like footsteps. Jesus Christ, the door just closed.
Yeah, that's usually right.
Was there someone in? Did you see anyone?
No.
Richard, be careful.
Guys, is there anyone in here?
See, that could easily be one of the kids.
No one behind the door.
Hello?
The door's closing toward them, though.
But then this bit, it basically says they look around and there's nothing there, and he shows the point that the door's a little bit stiffer because the carpet's thick to push, and they open up and look out the window on the second floor automatically. This one, to me, just reeks of setup.
Yeah.
Certainly could be.
This to me is one of those we want.
You know, because
all this is.
If there's some room,
we're doing this because we want to be on.
If there's something in the room,
yeah.
I was going to say, if something's genuinely happened and they're all kind of freaked out about it, the entire family isn't going to follow Dad with the camera. They'll be like, right, you go check it out. I'll just wait here with Mom and the other kids.
No, they're staying the whole way. No.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And the funny thing is, the woman says,
we're looking for lights, we're looking for viewers.
She's literally standing at the doorway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that.
Yeah. Flight Shot said about also around the table section, is there a skeleton in a hoodie against the wall?
Yeah.
I think it's a school bag. Possibly.
It does look like a skeleton, though. I wonder whether it was Halloween. Because if you look above her on the wall at the back, there looks to be a trident or something. A pitchfork or something.
Yeah.
Which is something you should keep in your dining room.
That one. One.
For poltergeist.
No, right, of course.
To throw at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or little brothers wearing a black cloak.
That one.
It could be handy to get the little brother out of the room, though.
True, yes. I've always wanted
off to bed.
Not a little brother, but a pitchfork for my little brother.
Yeah.
And this is the last one I found. This is actually got the audio on this. It's a 911 call. I've heard very similar stories to this on a regular basis. Unfortunately, the audio and the video will glitch, unfortunately, but it's the usual thing.
Comes into the 911 dispatch center, but whoever made the call hangs up almost immediately. The 911 operators trace the call and find that it came from Imperial Memorial Gardens. Well, the weird thing is, Imperial Memorial Gardens is a funeral home, surrounded by an 80-year-old cemetery. And it's 3:30 in the morning, so no one should be there. Now, as standard procedure, the 911 emergency operators call the funeral home back to make sure everything is okay. And someone answers the phone. This is what the 911 operators hear.
911, this is Erica. How can I help you? Hello? Hello? Hello?
There's a lot of static and a quiet male voice seems to say something.
The usual thing, police go there and place is fully locked up. There's no break-ins, nothing like that, and it's completely empty. So, what do you think
I want to clear up the call and make the male voice clearer.
Yeah.
The only bit I could actually make out was one of the long bits that he says. It sounded like something about my house or the house, but you can't make out enough to figure out what he's saying.
To me, it sounded foreign.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Sounded almost
I'm
like he had a
so
Polish
tempted.
accent.
I'm so tempted to put it through Audacity.
Yeah. See if you can clear it up.
Clear it up a bit. Oh, sorry, I won't get a brush spray. So, but you hear these sort of things regular occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, have you managed to figure out how to put that video clip up?
I'm looking through my Instagram. I know I sent it to my brothers and to my friend Zach. And I'm looking through that and see if I can find it real quick.
I can give you a similar one from a friend of mine. I've got a few friends who work in emergency medic kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a call out to a house. It was a welfare check. They're in the States. It was a welfare check, but they went to see, because of course all the services are interchangeable as medics over there, from what I can gather. And this guy got there. The house is all locked up, but there's a wifey with her hair in curlers wearing a goonie, a dressing gown, and she points to the back of the house, and he follows where she's pointing. He goes round, and they find the patient lying at the bottom of the stairs of the house with her hair in curlers, wearing a pink dressing gown. It's the same woman who pointed them to where she was. She'd already passed.
That's all.
And she actually pointed them to how to get in the house.
That's almost like a crisis apparition.
Yeah. It was a lady who lived alone, And I think that's precisely why she did it. You know, if you're able to control your own crisis apparition. But her apparition pointed them how to get into the house to find her. So,
you hear that at times, though, with people dying a long way away and appearing to...
Yeah, you see them walking down the driveway.
Yeah. I mean, I had it with my granny. And she died. I telling the lads, she was sat on the end of my brother's bed. She died in Ireland.
Yeah.
And I woke up. My brother is a lot younger than me, 7 years younger than me. I was really distraught. I woke up. She sat on the end of the bed, telling my brother she's all right. She just looked at me and said, "I'm all right."
Yeah.
And it was just natural. For years, I never even considered it was paranormal.
I had a similar oddity when I was younger. I had a dream. Now, our family, as families do, our family split. We didn't see one half the family for a very long time. And during this gap, I had a dream about my grandma. And in the dream, she was crying and she looked like she was in absolute agony. And somebody else in the room told me she couldn't stand up. And then I woke up and I thought, that's a bit weird. I hadn't seen my grandma since I was 4. And at this point, I was like 16. Well, when we got back in touch when I was 19, the night I had that dream, the wind had lifted her off of her back step, dropped her down and broke both her legs.
Oof.
And I hadn't seen her since I was 4. And it was 3 years after I had the dream that I found out what had happened at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, she recovered in that, obviously, but I just thought it was weird that somebody sent me a crisis apparition about her when we hadn't seen her for decades.
Like a spirit had yelled out for somebody to help her and there weren't no one around and you had to pick it up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you work, though, Linda, you must have had a lot of stuff there. Is it Elgin? I never remember. Is it Elgin Cathedral or
Elgin Cathedral is the day job, yeah. But I cover other buildings for sick cover and stuff as well. The cathedral's relatively quiet. There's one real oddity. The one that happens the most often, actually, isn't the oddest one. You'll be walking through the building, like opening up or locking up, so you're the only one there. It's a 13th century cathedral. And you hear footsteps and you think, oh, it's just my own footsteps echoing off the walls because it's solid stone.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Then you realise you can hear fabric moving. Our uniforms don't have loose fabric. And it's like, okay, good morning. Have a good day. Just keep walking. Because the others laugh at me. They know when I'm first in because they can hear YouTube blaring out of the towers. And I'm like, yeah, I do that so I can't hear everybody else. Otherwise, it'd take me an hour and a half to open up because I'd have to stop and speak to all of them. But there's nothing nasty. The one that I find the oddest. The one I find the oddest is there appears to be a guardian to the building. And I can't figure out why, when, from, or who. But after dark, there is a serious negative, get the hell away from here feeling. And it just emanates through the fence at you as you walk past. And I've had loads of other people tell me the same. And I'm like, well, I thought it was just me and other weirdy people that notice that. But the normals also notice it. And I presume it's just some kind of guardian that's just trying to keep people off the property after dark because it's not safe. That's it.
Yeah.
Those 2 towers at the far end, the big square ones, the light switches are in each individual room. So you have 270 stairs just to switch the lights on in the morning and the same at supper time to close down. That's why we've all got footballers' legs.
As long as it ain't 270 stairs to the kettle, then I don't care.
No, it's only 18 stairs to the kettle. You're all right.
That's perfect.
But one of the other buildings that I've covered, I've been punched, I've been kicked, I've been pushed up the stairs, I've been shoved out of a room, I've had the sweeping brush taken out of my hand and thrown over the balcony, all in the first 2 years of working in that other building. But after that, they seemed to get used to me and they stopped doing stuff like that. So, but that other building... Well, the other building, women were not allowed into it, and the guys don't like that women had keys at the time, but now they've got used to it. So
yes, well, because back in history, women weren't allowed to have things as precious as keys, and that were they?
Yeah,
so it was looked at as such. Well, second-class citizens, really, weren't they?
Not even that. We were one step above your pet dog. Yeah, that other building was. Yeah, that other building was seriously nasty to me in the first couple of years, but then after that they seem to have got used to me, and there's hardly ever anything. So, but I keep, I still do my usual, whichever building I'm working at. Whichever building I'm working at, when I'm going round unlocking, I always say good morning to everybody that's listening.
Cost nothing to be polite.
I'd done with some of my old neighbours. We've done here, which is Covife. It's near Southwold. Where you got the big window at the end here, you can just see by the left-hand wall of the large window. There's a little nave type bit there. And my neighbour's wife, Bronwyn, she had her hands on there and she was looking through, talking to me because I was over, like on the left-hand side, and her hands pinned against the wall, and she weren't allowed to, and she couldn't move it. And now the apps, I don't believe in them apps generally. To me, they're a load of rubbish. But what at the same time she was having her hands pinned down there. She was, it was coming through on the app, you stupid bitch. And you lazy cow. That coming through. Her husband, Gavin, is autistic. And part of his, not severely autistic, but only slightly. But one of the things he can't do with his autism, he can't show emotion.
That's definitely not him.
So when he, I can't remember, it was one of his family members that he was fairly close to had died because of his neurodiversity. He couldn't cry.
Yeah.
And he stood there in the same spot where Bronwyn had been a little while beforehand, and he started bawling his eyes out. And that was the first time he'd ever done it. Well, not bawling, but he started crying. And that was the first time he'd ever done it in his life. And soon after that, we was up near where the big window was, and we had stones thrown at us.
Ooh.
And it was as we was leaving that building there where something decided to punch me in the kidney. So we decided a couple of days later to go back again because it's like, I ain't putting up with this. They ain't scaring me off. And on the left-hand side, the windows on the left-hand side, if I show you them again quickly, you'll see how high up they are. Let me just quickly chuck that on. Come on, computer. Thank you.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side, over the left-hand side of the picture, you see how high up those windows are. Well, just right off to the left, where the back end is where the main wall is and where the car was parked. We was parked there. It was like, right, we had the problems before. We're prepared this time. We've got all the stuff we need. And across literally every single one of those windows, we saw candlelight going.
Nice.
We went, you know what? I don't think we'll go in there tonight. We decided.
I would have.
Yeah. But there's from from what I could, from what I, well, as you know yourself, Linda, I call it the spidey sense. From what I picked up, it was a monk that it was 1 for the coffers, 2 for me.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, he was a poor person. He realised he weren't stupid. He realised how rich the church were and decided to go into the church. Prostitution, child abuse, rape, all the horrible stuff, money taken, and all that sort of thing. And
typical Catholic for that time period, anyway.
Yeah, and he didn't like the fact that I knew he was there, and that's why I think I got the kidney punch.
Yeah.
So, but there was also
that's it. Sometimes you get attacked because they know you are a threat.
Yep.
And it's just like an animal, you know. They know you're a threat, so they're gonna hit out sometimes.
Yeah.
But once they realize you're not a threat, or if you can persuade them to behave themselves, they'll either behave themselves and move on altogether, or go a bit more benign. But to persuade them for that kind of thing, you have to have the ultimate, utmost faith that what you're saying is correct. Because if you it's just like an exorcism. If you have any chink in your armor, they're going to blow that apart. Yeah.
Joe's done exorcisms quite regularly, haven't you, Joe? Quite a few times.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, and the investigations to go with them.
I do the non-religious ones. I tend to use the Native American stuff, shamanic, and some of the Celtic. But in some cases, depending who or what's been causing hassle for the building, I have been known to use the Roman ritual and such like. So,
right.
But
and,
I ain't no priest. I got a pointy hat and a broomstick, but I just have ultimate faith in myself because I was told 17 years ago I'd never walk again, and I would probably never talk again either.
Yeah.
My faith is myself. Exactly. That's why I'm a tour guide to trade. Sometimes they have to pay me to shut me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those
Did
things.
Timmy hit you with his mallet?
Hey?
Did Timmy hit you with his mallet when he
visited? No, he didn't, but he did do the sound effect.
Linda's got a lovely...
We also did the look at the camera and go blah. That was random, and it was the first day back at work that year as well. April 1st,
when
and Timmy
Linda posted a picture
up.
a while back when she was up. I honestly didn't even know he was still alive, to be honest.
Yeah.
I remember him well. But yeah, no, that Cove Life as well. We picked up. I picked up. There was a little boy called. I can't remember if it was Daniel, because this is about 6 or 7 years ago. I think it was Daniel, and he'd been given a little black and white sheepdog, like they use on one man and his dog, that type of sheepdog. And the dog had got out because as you can see there's all marshlands, and just past marshlands is like the estuary and all that. And the dog went missing, and the boy, he'd come up from London or Kent or somewhere, and the dog had been got for him, and he was scared that he was going to get a beating. So he went out to try and find the dog, and got stuck in the bogs and drowned.
Oh my God, you are not going to believe this.
What?
I used to have a recurring dream where I was a little boy in the time of the little boy blue velvet outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a recurring dream from me being about 5-year-old until I was about 21. And this little boy had a border collie, the black and white. And the border collie, the border collie went into the river to get the stick, and it got into trouble with the water. So the wee boy went in to try and help the dog, and both of them ended up drowning. By the time I was 21, I had acquired the lucid dreaming skill, and I made that little boy stand on that riverbank, bawling his eyes out to not go and save his dog. And after I get that little boy to stay on the bank and not to get drowned, I never had the dream again.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did
so many similarities to what you just said that it was like, whoa.
I did mention to Joe, and I think it's when we was talking about the reincarnations, the last one we did. Could say, for instance, like in a previous life, I died and I actually be in this room that I'm in now, and I died in this room. Me living here now, could my room be haunted by the ghost of me from a previous life?
I've seen someone taken over by one of their previous lives when they were unconscious. They ended up running out of the house with their eyes completely closed, running out of the house and having a sword fight in the garden. I don't know who they were fighting, but they were doing all the proper stance and everything. And they were completely unconscious. And I had to shout their name 10 times. And when they opened their eyes, they passed out.
I thought it was just an average Tuesday in Scotland.
That'd be a Saturday.
Just outside Glasgow. Yeah, just outside Glasgow Central. I've been there and seen him.
Aye.
Usually with his shorts on and his vest. Big low vest.
Right, so I chose videos this week. What we're going for, we can't do next week because poor old Ian's got work yet again, poor sod.
Yes.
It's Ian's turn to pick them.
Take early retirement. Go ghost hunting, Ian. So, what are we going to do next?
Well, I would say conspiracy theories, but that just narrows it down to about 50,000 different things.
I was going to say, how many do you want?
we've been quite good. We've been quite. Oh, actually, no, we've gone 220 this time. We got about 220 again this time. I thought the videos it'd be nice and quick this time, but it wasn't.
Well, you finished the videos right at 2 hours, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, we were a little. Actually, no, we are a bit shorter than usual, aren't we? I think.
Yeah, last time we were like 310 or 320.
Yeah.
The reincarnation one, just that got. I personally, at the moment, think reincarnation is the best one we've done because there was so many different aspects we covered on that.
Yeah, we did. We talked about a lot of stuff.
So, but
and you all brought up different points of what I was thinking as well in that, and like the stories that you referred to is similar ones to what I've had in my head as being true ones.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, but no, so as I was saying to Joe and Ian a couple of weeks back, after I don't know if you know, last May 9th, I had a mild heart attack, my first one. After that, I kind of suddenly, my mortality came to the forefront.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning and just for some reason, and I don't know why, I just became a complete non-believer. I keep getting hints of things. I'm going, yes, I know. But I don't know. Now I'm more on the fence. You know, listening to some of the fantastic stories that Joe and Ian have experienced and that is making me more of a believer. And as I've said to them guys, I really appreciate them because it really helps my mental health. You know, because I get such a serotonin buzz. After the reincarnation one, I don't think I got to sleep until about 20 to 5 in the morning because my head was so busy going through everything we talked about. And I'd sat down and watched.
You didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
I think
you were so reticent to do the topic.
Yeah, no word of a lie. Because you'd had to work the 1 week. We had to put it off a week, didn't we, Ian? If I remember rightly. I literally went 2 weeks. I went to an hour before we went live streaming, before I started researching it. Because reincarnation's never been a topic that's interested me. And I was trying to look at the scientific side, and I think
many different aspects to it.
Yeah, and so many different beliefs and different religions that do use it. It's like, just crazy.
I've just had a thought of something different that would be good to see someone else's research on. Vitrified stone forts. There's a few worldwide, but there are 5 in Scotland. The stone has to be heated to like so many thousand degrees to become vitrified.
Mold it around the other stones and
a lot of these so-called UFO people, like this Giorgio Tsoukalos, say that's proof of aliens landing, and it's a rocket for the spaceship.
The other theories I saw is one of the big battles that's referred to in the Mahabharat talks about these like ray guns. And that's supposed to be BC. And all of the vitrified forts in Scotland are all BC times.
Right.
Well, we definitely did not have the capacity to create something that will be so many thousand degrees. So that's one I would like to see someone else research, because I just send myself down a rabbit hole when I do it.
Yeah, there was. I just looked it up, and the first entry, I just did vitrified stone forts, and the first entry is in Scotland.
Burghead.
Yeah, they're all here.
5 miles from where I'm sitting. It's over there.
Menderlock, Ordale.
Under vitrification, soda lime glass is between 520 and 570 degrees C. I'm even going to attempt to pronounce that one. Clay pottery to vitrify is 1400 degrees. So that's quite high. That's actually very high.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just looking at this as well. Vitrification can be caused by cold as well as heat.
That's probably a better.
But you need temperatures between minus 120 and 196 degrees.
Yeah, that's colder than the Ice Age, so that's not a no.
Yeah, you've got the Ice Age. Scotland's got a lot of volcanic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's past.
It does.
Ice Age, ain't that sunbathing weather in Scotland?
Well, I was wandering around in my shorts and t-shirt the other day at 14 degrees.
It's one of them, Carl. It just means you've got to put a cardi on.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like you see the weather forecast.
If southern softies, you'd have to put your thermals on.
Aye.
Under your...
Or they'd be in the supermarket buying up all the food because they don't want to come out when it's cold.
Yeah, I'm guilty for that, yeah. What are we here? It's 12 degrees here at the moment, and I'm sitting here and I've got goosebumps because I'm cold.
I've got the living room and bedroom window open, and the temperature in the room is 18.1. I haven't had my heating on for at least 4 weeks, and if I'm scared to look at the temperature on my phone in case it kills this program.
But no,
you can look up Elgin for temperature. You'll see it yourself.
Let me have I've got to have a nose now.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how do you feel about out-of-body experiences?
Oh,
it's very interesting.
I think for a lot of it,
had one.
I've kind of had something similar. My pulse had been running at 170 something for 2 hours, and then I flatlined. And when I flatlined, I saw the numbers on the screen, and I was looking at myself. And the nurse didn't believe me when my mum brought me round, because nobody came through to check because it's in casualty, and the alarms are always going off.
Yeah.
But my mum punched me in the middle of my chest, and that got me out of the flatline. And the nurse was like, "It's impossible. You couldn't see the screen. It's behind your head. It's facing the other way." And I reeled off all the numbers that were across the bottom left of the screen, and she's like, "You're right, but there's no way on earth you actually saw that." But I gave her the right numbers.
We've just
I had it when I was early teens. And
we've just had a comment from somebody called Flight Shots, and they've said, fascinating stuff. Thank you all.
And
You're more than welcome.
Actually, yeah, Jeff. Yeah, I was in bed. Really
don't forget to like and subscribe.
And I actually got out of bed, went and sat in the chair in my room, and I was head down, and oh God, I felt ill. And and as I sat up, I looked across, and I was lying there in bed.
Ouch!
And it was like, what the? And the next thing, it was like bang, and I was sat up in bed and like, what the?
Yeah.
Bloody hell was that?
As we said
that night is when my fever broke.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next morning and my bed was absolutely drenched in sweat, but I was on the road to recovery. But the shock of it, looking across and seeing myself lay there in bed.
With mine, when I flatlined with mine, I relaxed into it because the reason my pulse was so high was because of the pain levels that I was going through at the time. And everything just stopped hurting and I relaxed into it. When my mum punched me in my chest, the first thing I said was, "What the fuck did you do that for?" I was enjoying that. It didn't hurt.
Well, as we said, I think it was on the reincarnation one. People say that they have these out-of-body experiences and go and see God and this, that, and the other. A Christian or a Catholic will see Jesus. A Muslim will see Muhammad, or things like that. It's always these out-of-body experiences, the deities and that people claim that they see are always linked to their religion. You won't have a Muslim say they had an out-of-body experience and saw Jesus. Or you won't have a Christian and go, you know what?
You just imagine that.
Am I a deity?
Can you imagine that though? Halfway up the tunnel, going, "Yeah, wrong dude, mate."
Yeah, yeah. You get up there and Buddha's sat there. Who the fuck are you?
Or just to annoy every other religion on the planet, you get halfway up the tunnel and realize it's a woman sitting there.
Oh, if there is a God, it's probably a woman anyway. How fucked up the world? Sorry, language. How messed up the world is? It probably is a woman.
No, it'll be one of these snowflakes.
That's like tidy.
No, I still would. Yeah. But no, it is. It's true though. A Catholic or a Christian will see Jesus, or a Jehovah's Witness will see Jehovah. They won't go, "Oh, I'm Jesus."
Jehovah's Witnesses see themselves.
Yeah. And also, there's been a lot of hospitals. I appreciate the follow over that was. Thank you. And also, there is a lot of. I don't know if it's done regularly in all hospitals, but I know a lot of hospitals, they'll deliberately draw a picture, or they'll take a photograph, or they'll write a word or something, and they'll put it on a high shelf or on top of something.
Someplace behind their head, they can't see it.
And had it out of body. Well, what was written on the paper? Nobody has ever got it correct. Ever.
Yeah. No, but I know your pin number. Because I'm following into the flash machine.
Tell me what it is. I need to know what mine is. But the only one that I know of that has been that was, I think it was in Chicago, one of the hospitals in Chicago. They said that they'd had an out-of-body experience and said about some red shoes or something on the roof. And then the mate guy the following year happened to go and do something on the air conditioning or something. And when they went up there was some red shoes up there.
Nice.
But
see, if somebody were to put a piece of paper with a word on it, it would have to be somewhere around your body, I think, because you're going to be watching you, and watching the doctors and watching all that's happening around you, you might see that paper sitting there. But if it's over here on a shelf or if it's over, by the door, it's just another piece of paper.
Why would you look for it?
And if it's up on the roof, surely that means you're 3/4 of the way there and you're flaming lucky you came back.
Yeah. Somebody got something kickstarted again for you to do it.
Yeah, but not be funny how if you go into a shop, I don't know if it was a male or female shoe. I honestly can't remember. But, if a woman's got an outfit on and red shoes that match the outfit that she was wearing, she's going to put her shoes on. If it's somebody that's wanting to commit suicide off the roof of the building, generally people don't take their shoes off. But, somebody could have gone up there to have a joint or something and lost a shoe. And it was like a year. I think it was a year. It might have been slightly less, but they've gone up to do the maintenance about a year after. In a year, you're going to get a lot of people go up on that roof. So it could be just sheer coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, strange. And the fact that they went, I found these shoes. I went to do maintenance. I found some red shoes. The person that claimed that they had the out-of-body experience and saw the shoes on the roof might have said they were orange or black or something. And the doctor, the person went, I found these on the roof. I think somebody said about shoes about a year ago. I can't remember. Perhaps it was what they said they saw. I can't remember.
Yeah, but again, you've got auto-suggestion.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah.
You've got, they could have thrown them up on the roof.
Yeah.
Quick phone call to your pal. Gonna go and put a pair of red jeans on the roof.
But the likelihood is the person could have gone, I had an out-of-body experience. I saw a pair of shoes up on the roof. They might not even said what colour it was.
Yeah.
But because the maintenance guy came down with shoes, they went, that person said that.
Why would you be up on the roof? Like Joel said, if you're going to do it, you're going to be watching yourself. I woke up and looked across when I was in bed.
Yeah, with my second heart attack, the one that needed my heart transplant done, the second one that I had, the medium on my team was sitting in a chair. You guys have heard this story before, but the medium on my team was sitting at my feet against the wall. And every time I'd pass out and I'd see nothing but black, but I'd wake up and she'd be laughing. And of course I was intubated, so I couldn't say, what are you laughing about? And I'm just like, what? Yeah. And she's like, every time you cross over, you're on the other side. I can hear you screaming, send me back. I've got things to do. I got to take care of my son. I got things to do. Send me back. And then I'd come back and my heart would start racing again. I'd lose circulation. I'd kick off and then I'd be screaming again, send me back. And that happened.
I think the weirdest one I've heard was somebody I used to work with. They used to go out quite regularly with their mum and they wanted to go to a spiritualist church for the first time ever. Now, they were both absolutely terrified of spiders. Her son and her daughter weren't there. I think they were out working. And just before they were just getting ready to go out, and there was a massive spider there. So one of them stomped on it. They went to the spiritualist church and the medium came up. They were about the third or fourth person the medium spoke to. And they went, before you came here, you killed a spider, didn't you? And yeah, a lot of people don't like spiders. They might kill it. They went, yeah. He goes, yeah, I know. Because I knew you were coming because I've heard the bloody thing screaming all the way to the other side. No, a medium did that to somebody.
Interesting.
I've never heard anything so stupid in my life.
Yeah.
But,
I've passed some really strange messages, but even I haven't had one that strange.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the old joke where the woman's telling her sexual experiences. And next day she's in the pub and a fella goes in and says, I bet I can tell you what you did.
I know this one.
She's never met him before, and he's hang on. Yeah, it's coming. And he tells her all about this. And she says, "My God, are you a spiritualist? Are you a medium?" So no, I was three behind you in the stalls.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, I love that one. So we got to decide on what we're going for next.
Haunted items,
Haunted dolls
boxes,
or haunted items.
Yeah, dive up boxes and stuff like that. Again, Mr. Bilbo Baggins has created a. There now seems to be bloody hundreds of the damn things around.
I've been to his museum twice in Vegas.
Is it just me, or every time he's on TV, has he got 2 less teeth every time he appears?
I don't know, because I don't.
What is he doing that he keeps losing his teeth, or is he just going out and folk are knocking him out?
It's all them demons he hangs around with.
It's true. I mean, since he started hermitizing, every time you see him on TV, he's got less and less teeth every time, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we could do a follow-up to Ian's favourite topic.
The aliens?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that video.
I'm working that week.
Yeah, I've watched all of them that you've put up. So yeah, I have seen it.
I've literally, with 2 hours in, I've only literally just noticed what Ian's put for his username this time, and it just made me remember what you put for your UFO one. No, it's been absolutely brilliant, as it always is, guys. Really appreciate you, Linda, jumping in.
Thanks for joining, Linda. That was great.
That's all right. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yes.
Apologies for the video stuttering, but it was the cheapest computer. I needed to get it quick, so I just bought the cheapest one I could find. So unfortunately, live and videos and audio on a cheap computer don't work very quick.
I've just done exactly the same, but I've not been in the house long enough to plug it in.
In fairness,
still in the box behind me.
I was just going to get my old laptop repaired, but it was going to cost me exactly the same price to get a battery put in to buy this whole new laptop. So
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. But no, it's been fantastic as always. It's the actual topics. Ian's got to work next week. We could leave the second UFO one to the week after, Ian.
No. I think you should. I think you should do that one.
So haunted items, then, huh? Or haunted items.
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah.
Because you know one of the first things that's going to come up with the haunted items is going to be the Warrens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Annabelle.
I see their grandson put a statement on Facebook about Annabelle being on tour at the moment.
Yeah, in Phoenix,
she'd gone missing.
Yeah. Linda saying that though, I've seen, because it's that Raggedy Ann doll they've got in the so-called museum, isn't it?
Right.
I was watching a thing. I was flicking through because I don't watch normal TV. I just watch YouTube. I was flicking through there, and allegedly that the Annabelle doll that they got in the museum isn't the original Annabelle doll. They had to replace it because the original one got stolen.
I've not come across that one.
Before I moved over here to France, we had the tour go through Phoenix, and it was downtown Phoenix, and the Annabelle doll was there, and other items from the museum. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't pay for a ticket. It was like $40 or something like that. So, to go into a 25-foot long trailer. I'm sorry, no.
That seems to be the biggest point that their grandson's made in his statement that he's put on Facebook the last couple of days. So
I'll have to have a look. So I haven't really seen. But I know from one when
you've got that sailor doll as well, haven't you?
Oh, Robert.
Robert, the evil. I hate dolls.
My brothers do as well. Every time I see a picture of a haunted doll, I send it to my brothers. They hate them. So, of course, I've got to send them. So, like the doll's head that they put light bulbs in, it makes the eyes glow.
Yeah.
Grab that and set it off.
There was a thing when Lorraine died. I'm going to say Huff Paranormal. Everyone knows them, especially Joe, because Joe's had dealings with him. He done.
I hope you got the first swing in.
He done one of his videos on his YouTube channel. Allegedly, Lorraine had come through to him, and she said in her life that she hated him, and if there was anything there, she'd never go to him. But she came through supposedly, and she was answering his questions and all that. Her grandson or nephew, whoever it is that runs the museum, said that is actually from an interview the Lorraine done just before she died. Yep. He had written the answers. He'd got the questions beforehand. He had written the answers down for her to repeat, and Huff Paranormal had used those answers to his questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but hasn't he been done so many times by like Panasonic and Sony for doing what he does with their gear and passing it off as his own?
Oh, Joe, is that something you just brought up, Joe?
Yeah, there's something I just brought up just because it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I would so love. I want to do that to my kids.
Yeah.
It's like that thing we've all got the elf on the shelf. Let's just have a doll for October and move it round the house.
Well, it's like that one with the book, the haunted book. His mother-in-law's reading a.
Oh yes.
She throws it away. She throws it into the ocean. He goes and buys the exact one.
Yeah, it's the Exorcist book. Yeah.
I would love to.
It's like, I mean, I've seen, that supposedly the most haunted painting, The Anguished Man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's so many over there. You got the crying boy.
Yeah, the crying boy, that'll burn your house down. Yeah.
The trouble is with the crying boy one, that got explained because the son had them printed out, and the materials the pictures were painted on were flammable. And the chemicals that mixed with the paper that it was printed on, it was reacting. That's what was causing the fires.
Interesting.
Well, the Anguished Man supposedly does this, that, and the next thing, and all the rest, and it's supposed to be this particular spirit, and yada, yada, yada. Well, when it was up here in a local castle, I had gone with a team. You got to do an investigation of the castle, allegedly, and you had a minimum sponsorship level to reach from Joe Public.
Yeah,
and then they did like a raffle thing on the night, and I won one of the raffles to get to go and spend 15 minutes in the room on my own with this painting. And everybody's terrified to go near it. Well, I'll put my hands all down all four sides of that thing. And when I was in there, yes, there was definitely someone else in the room, but it wasn't for the painting. It was for the castle. It was the kids. That's the one. It was the kids for the castle that were in the room with me. And everybody's saying this is supposed to be this, that, and the next thing. And the only spirit link I got with this picture was an old Jewish Dutchman who was a watchmaker and watch repairer. Now, whether he was also connected to the building we were in, or whether he was connected to John, who was taking the painting round Scotland, I don't know. But all the stories that we were hearing about what the painting's supposed to do and who's supposed to be connected to it, none of that rang true. And all I kept getting was this Jewish Dutchman who's a watch repairer and clockmaker.
Well,
and I still get that now.
Artist was supposed to stories with his own blood and committed suicide after, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
So,
I mean, there's all sorts of videos on YouTube where you see things that are supposedly happening in the owner's house when the owner has it. John that takes it round, I can't remember his company name, but he gets you to do like pseudo paranormal experiments, which to people not like us who actually know how things go, but to those who have never experienced it, it's quite a mind-blowing show that John puts on. Yeah. And I'm sure 99% of it is just from the energy of the people rather than the spirits, although that castle does have quite a few residents that are still there that shouldn't be, but they are.
But you're saying about like the pseudo paranormal views and that. There's I can't think of the name of the one, the big famous hospital that's up in Liverpool that everyone's supposedly haunted. It used to be the Reformatory and that. There's one of the teams I know from up in that direction that said a lot of the ghost stories for that place, the caretaker of the place has made up himself.
Oh, that's no good.
So
that makes all of us. It's things like that that make us look like kooks to the normals.
But it's the same as I said to Ian and Joe the other week. The same as East Drive. One of the teams went up there. Somebody went out for at the time. It was when the previous owners had it. Somebody went outside for a cigarette. When I was out there having a cigarette, the woman that held the keys that lived next door, she was seen going like that on the wall. And when they went back in and had a cigarette and went, "Oh, do you know what? While you was out having your cigarette, you missed it all. We had banging and all sorts of things."
Oh,
yeah. Here when that happens.
And the guy that owns it now said on a local, I don't know what news channel it was, but a local Liverpool news channel. It's a business. If people want to come here thinking it's haunted, it makes me money.
Yeah. Three times I've organised to go to Newsham Park Hospital.
Newsham Park, that's the one.
Yeah. I was drawn to it. 3 times I was supposed to go. 3 times I didn't make it.
But there's
a reason for that.
I still want to go there.
I'd still like to go there. I think there is something there, but apparently a lot of the stories the caretaker's made up.
Yeah,
one of the funniest ones.
It's like TV shows, isn't it?
Yeah. One of the funniest ones I've ever done.
You're trying to sell it as a haunted experience. You're not, and there's nothing happening. You're going to make things happen.
Mm-hmm. One of the funniest ones.
Said, "Did you hear that banging?" And it's the ghost who stood next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the funniest ones I've ever done. My other half lives as far south as you can go without getting wet feet. He's down Southampton way.
Yeah,
and something like 607 miles door to door. So, and he took me to a park, which is the site of an old hospital. I can't remember how old it is, but I want to say bits of it go back to 17s, but the majority is 1800s and early 1900s. And it's just a lawn in a park. That's all that's there. And he's like looking at me expectantly, and I'm like, "You want me to go fishing, don't you?" And he's like, "Aye." So I went fishing, and I was directing him all the way around the ground floor. And I was telling him, "You have to walk where I walk because we're walking through doorways. If you walk through the walls, any of these that are still stuck in residual energy are going to get freaked out by us walking through the walls." And he thought this was hilarious. We're walking around this park, and I'm like, "In this room here, you've got such and such and such and such. There's a guy in the corner there smoking a pipe. He's just set fire to his slippers, so he's obviously in the mental ward," and random stuff like this in a park in broad daylight, blazing sunshine. And he looked it up, and the bits that I identified as different bits of the ground floor of the hospital was actually correct. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
As I say, all that's there now is a lawn in a park.
We've discussed before, when we see spirit, are we the ghost to them?
I've always taken it as that.
Yeah.
I've always taken it as that. That's why I try to go through the doorways that were there in their time, so we're not freaking them out too much.
When you think about it, you get residuals. You get stone tape where they're just replaying and replaying. But where you get actual interaction, sentient spirit, we must be the ghost to them.
Yeah.
But it
fits nicely with the time slips thing, you know.
Yeah.
We're dimensional.
Or exactly, dimensional. If we walked into another dimension.
Get close enough and you can see it, you know, close enough to that dimension.
Which is why, I mean, someone asked a question the other day on another forum. Do people come to collect you?
Yeah.
When you're passing?
Now, that's a really good question.
When my dad died, my mum was with him. My dad died of cancer. She was sat talking to him and he was drifting in and out, and she said he just sat up, put his arms out, the most beatific smile on his face, and then and he was gone.
Yeah.
Somebody, we all reckon it was his granny.
In the 26 years I was a healthcare worker, I can only think of one, possibly two times in 26 years that I ever witnessed that. And I'd been there. I was telling you about the old gentleman, as he was going, I had to call the nurse in, he only had minutes away. And the last thing he said to her was, there ain't a chance for last quick blowjob, is there? But in all of them years, I can only say one, definitely I witnessed it. The other one, I don't know if it was a possible delirium. But other than that, the two times, I can't say I've ever witnessed that.
There's a story from one of our local nursing homes a good while ago now. It's over a decade at least. They had a Jewish resident and he passed on. And what they did, until the officials could get there and start doing things and family members could get there and start doing things, his room was locked up, as was. The officials came and collected him. The rooms kept locked up until his family members could get there, because most of them weren't even in this country. And the staff kept noticing the room light kept coming on, the attention buzzer. And they asked me, about 5 years after the fact, they asked me, what would that have been? And I'm like, well, under the Jewish religion, you're not supposed to leave them on their own until they've had their last conversation with their religious leader.
Right.
Okay, so that's probably what he was calling for.
Yeah.
So because once the rabbi had been, the rabbi came with his family member, and the rabbi helped the family pack up his belongings, and after that the light never came on. So I think that's what he was calling for.
Yeah, get that closure.
If you're that deeply imbued with your religion, you're not going to want to go without
last rites of some type. Yeah.
I mean, you hear so many times, like soldiers and stuff in battle, they've been at death's door for days. It could be a matter of minutes, but as the second their priest or rabbi or imam walks in the door, they're like, yo, I'm here. Hi. And they come to life for that last little bit, you know.
Yeah. Right, guys. So we got over a little bit today, but it's been absolutely fantastic. Really appreciate you jumping in. No. We always do this. We always do this. And normally we've actually stayed on topic for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian hasn't got me started this week.
It was so easy to start. That's the trouble.
No, it's been absolutely fantastic as always. I don't know if Ian, you've got work next week. I don't know if you want to leave it the 2 weeks, or if Linda wants to jump in your place if she's free next Wednesday.
My other app's up this Wednesday, so that'll be a no. Sorry.
Well, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Whereabouts is Southampton?
He's just
that's where I am. I'm down in Eastleigh.
Bishop's Waltham. You're not that far off.
No.
Yeah, he's coming up on Saturday night. He's up for 10 days, so we do it. It's like every 110 days, either he comes up or I go down. So
yeah, 600 miles is a bit of a way to go just for a quick capper, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but there's nice cheap flights from Inverness to Gatwick as long as he doesn't mind driving to Gatwick. But he's got his pal taking him this week, so. But Inverness is an easy drive. Inverness is only 40 miles from where I am. So
yeah, even so from Gatwick is still a hell of a distance, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But to fly from up here down to Southampton, if you want to fly into Southampton, you have to drive the 70 miles to Aberdeen, get on the plane, go to Amsterdam for 9 hours, go to Belfast for 7 hours, and then the next plane will take you to Southampton. And the minimum cost of that is £400 one way. If I'm paying £400 for a flight, I want door-to-door service.
Yes.
Walking in my kitchen to get a coffee and go that far. But no, guys, so I can always see if because I've actually had a couple of people message in Paranormal Anglia about possibly joining in with us. So
Carl's having an out-of-body experience.
We're all sitting here like this, and he's just talking away. It's great.
Yeah.
See, because I'm on my phone, I can't even see if his face is moving or not.
No,
it's frozen. It's because me battery's almost dead. That's why I think. But guys, that's been fantastic. Guys. Linda, really appreciate you jumping in, and you're more welcome back anytime.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely brilliant, and I shall see you at a later date. Yeah, take care, guys.
Yeah, and you.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good one, everybody.
Good night.